I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Y'all want this party started right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Bim. There we go. There we go. Off to a good start. Off to a good start. Let me get this train going in the right direction by quoting the great American poet Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah says, "Now a lot of people think this is easy as it looks. Books and books of rhyme concepts and hooks. Session to session to hit the world with a blessing, stressing and stressing to get thoughts manifested." Something like that. Whatever. Y'all know what the quote of the day is. Now a lot of people think it's as easy as it look. Books and books of rhyme concepts and hooks. Stressing and stressing, or session to session to get thoughts manifested, stressing and stressing to hit the world with a blessing. Bim. And there it is. There it is. So throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Scream. Ah. Let's go. Let's talk about these Knicks, man. Let's talk about some NBA. Let's talk about some Knicks and some NBA stuff, right? I'm trying to get this lighting right. Let me get this lighting right. I hadn't been in this room in a minute, or so it seems. So it seems like I hadn't been in this room in a while. Right? Right? Shout out to my people. Danny Landis is in the building. Nick G is chilling. G is chilling. Mr. Vince is in the building. JJ, my man, is in the building. What's good? Big Oso is in the building. What's good? Hard Will in the building. Mr. Lee is in the building. It's my family right there. Mr. Lee is in the building. We ready to talk these Knicks the way that y'all like to have these Knicks talk to us. We gonna talk these Knicks the way that we like to have Knicks talk to us. Yes, we gonna do that. We gonna do that. South BK is in the building. Jay Boogie is in the building. What's good? Jay Boogie is in the building. Yeah, man. Jay Boogie is in the building. All right. JR is in the building. What's good? Aunt Dub was good. David L was good. T Smith in here. I see you. I see you. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I got a topic that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I spoke about it a little bit earlier this morning. For those that didn't get a chance to see it, I spoke about it a little bit earlier this morning. But I want to talk about something similar to it today. Right? Right. So I wanted to, I'm gonna I guess I'll say it like this. I guess I'll just put it out there. For one, are we getting what we want? Knicks fans, I know a lot of times we want to talk about the same topics over and over. I know we want to beat dead horses. I know we want to beat dead horses and talk about the same topics over and over and over again. But sometimes, even in that, we do that because there is a deeper meaning to what it is that we want to talk about. We just don't always know how to ask the appropriate question. Ashley Inc. is in the building. Wiz, I see you. Hey, Wiz, listen, if we didn't do that trade, where would your team be at, Wiz? That's all I'm saying. Wiz, if we didn't do that trade, where would your fantasy football team be at right now? That's all I'm saying. All right. So shout out to my family in Inwood and Fall Rockaway, Queens, New York. Shout out to Queens. Shout out to the island. Shout out to BK. Shout out to the Bronx, Staten Island. Shout out to Uptown. Shout out to the people that's not in the city. Shout out to the tri-state people everywhere. Shout out to Jersey City, home sweet home. So let me get into this thing. What is it that Knicks fans really want? And are we getting what we want? And I'm not talking about an unreasonable expectation. See, and when you say unreasonable expectation, right? Unreasonable expectation is multiple NBA championships right away. That's an unreasonable expectation. Right? So every NBA fan wants a championship. Every NBA fan wants the confetti rain. Right? Every NBA fan wants the confetti rain. They want that moment of nirvana with the confetti rain and some big, ungodly, awful, hard to hold trophy that represents a legacy and things of that sort. Margaret Edwards is in the building. What's good, Miss Edwards? What's happening? Every NBA fan wants the confetti rain, right? Every NBA fan wants that. Right? But what about what Knicks fans want? Versus what Knicks fans got. Soul Finger is in the building. What's good? What's good, Soul Finger? Soul Finger is in the building. All right, so I have a list of 3 or 4 things, probably 4 things that I think Knicks fans want. And you don't have to agree with me on my list because you probably have your own list, but you should agree that there is a list. Whether all the lists have the same stuff on it or not, we should all agree that there is a list of things that Knicks fans want. Right? So this is, in my mind, this is what Knicks fans want. In my mind. And your list may be different. And I don't begrudge you. Right? But whatever. However your list looks is your list. We just rock with it. You know what I mean? On this list, though, I'm just gonna name on one at a time, and I don't have graphics for it. I started to do graphics, and I was like, nah, that might be a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna speak to it. The first item on my list of things that Knicks fans want is this. A megastar. Knicks fans want a megastar. Not a good player. Not a great player. Not a star. Not a superstar. But a megastar. That's what Knicks fans want. You hear me? Not a good player. Not a great player. Not a star. Not a superstar. But a megastar. And Knicks fans want this for numerous reasons. Because for one, you can't compete during no time in Knicks history have the Knicks competed without a megastar. And as you scramble your brains trying to figure out a time that the Knicks competed without a megastar, stop, collaborate, and listen. The Knicks don't compete without a megastar. And I know somebody's scrambling their brains right now trying to figure out a time where the Knicks competed. They're gonna say, "Well, this one time, man, Stephon Marbury." Stop it. Stop it. Because the whole point to it all is Knicks fans want a megastar because they want to compete right now, and I am with them. I want a megastar. I want a megastar, and a lot of you do too. And a lot of you do too. There were a lot of people saying that they wanted Donovan Mitchell, who's not a megastar. They wanted Donovan Mitchell because that got them closer to getting a megastar than what they had previously. Knicks fans want a megastar. You gotta have them. Because if you don't want a megastar, you don't want to win. It's as simple as that. Megastars win in this league, and if you don't want a megastar, then you don't want to win. It's as simple as that. The two golden eras of Knicks basketball, featured megastars. It's as simple as that. When you go back and look at, and I know a lot of you guys, you don't know who Clyde Frazier is, right? Clyde Frazier is, or you look at Clyde Frazier like the guy that wears those suits that look like your grandma curtains. Clyde Frazier looked like he snatched your grandma drapes off the wall and wore them with the you know what I'm saying, with the tie to the game. That's who Clyde Frazier looks like to a lot of us. But Clyde Frazier, during this time, yes, our Clyde Frazier is a top 10 point guard of all time. Potentially top 5, depending on if you are a numbers-based person. If you are a results-based person, Clyde Frazier is a top 5 point guard of all time. And my rankings, my personal biased Knicks fans ranking, I have Magic Johnson as the number 1 point guard of all time. Right? And then I have Clyde Frazier number 2. And followed by Bob Cousy and some others. My top 5 point guard list consists of Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Clyde Frazier, Bob Cousy, maybe Isaiah Thomas. If you don't have championships, you're not in the top 5. I'm sorry. Clyde Frazier is the best defensive point guard of all time. Period. Clyde Frazier was the best on-ball defending point guard that I could remember. And he was a facilitator. And he always showed up in the Willis Reed game should be known as the Clyde Frazier game. But Clyde Frazier was as close to a megastar as you could have been back during those days. That's one era. Franchise player. Willis Reed was an all-time great. Willis Reed was an all-time great. Superstar. Almost megastar. You got to have it. In the second golden era featured a megastar and Patrick Ewing. And anybody that tells you Patrick Ewing was not a megastar is crazy. Anybody that tells you that Patrick Ewing was not a top 10 player of his era, the golden era, is bananas. The fact that he made the dream team alone tells you how good this man was. Paris Duggar, thank you for your generous contribution. It's been a long time there, fella. Paris Duggar says, glad a lot of people, not true, want a megastar. That's fine. Your problem is there are no megastar championship level players around except Giannis. You missing my point. Slow down there, fella. Slow down. Pat the brake. You driving too fast. People glad a lot of people want a megastar. That's fine. Your problem is that's not my problem. That's your problem. You going too fast. Slow down there, fella. You done had too much coffee. Slow down. Drink some water. There are no megastar championship level players around except Giannis. Slow down there, fella. See, the thing is about what I just said was want a megastar. You're already going too fast. Slow down. Easy. Pull back on the reins. Pull back on the reins there a little bit, fella. Drink some water. Slow down there, fella. Drink some water and listen. The second era of Knicks basketball featured a megastar in Patrick Ewing. And in 1983 and 1984, we were in this same type of odd space. Hey, man, we need a point guard. We need a star. We only win in 37 games. You know what I'm saying? We need such and such. In 85, we got one. We drafted one. And the whole trajectory of the franchise changed. Before Clyde Frazier, we had in and out of the door point guard, this, such and such, that, whatever. We need some help, blah, blah, blah. Clyde Frazier came. He struggled for about the first 2 years. And after that, and those that pay attention to what Uncle Freezy just said, or what I say is, notice I said he struggled his first 2 years, and then. So for those that are thoughtful, put a pin in that 2-year thing, and that right there, because we talk about a lot of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Slow down. Let's just have this conversation. Let's just talk about the Knicks here for a minute, and how this whole Knicks NBA player struggled for 2 years, and then in his third year, he may become. I almost let the cat out of the bag. All I'm gonna say is all this stuff is leading to a thing. But I'll hum part of the because a lot of y'all want to fast forward through this part right here, but I just want to build this thing to a crescendo. But all I'm gonna do is sing the ending to it a little bit. You are, you say you are. And the microphone. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. And Paris Duggar says, hey, thank you for the generous contribution, Paris Duggar, man. Hey, I missed you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I missed a lot of y'all, man. This past week was bananas on a personal level, but I love the interactions, man. I do miss y'all, man. Paris Duggar says, oh yeah, one of your ham sandwiches is ascending to hey. Appreciate you. But yeah, we'll get to that. If you are who you say, So my point is the Knicks have a list of wants, and we all do. We all have a list of wants, right? Corey Lee says 87 is when we got Mark Jackson. I feel you, bro. And so Mr. Vince is this the Obi Toppin story in the front office would be false to move Julius on trade. Mr. Vince, stop trying to let the cat out the bag. Mr. Vince trying to read my Mr. Vince, slow. Mr. Vince, let me tell the story, Mr. Vince. Let me get in my, I'm going to take this off the screen. I love Mr. Vince, man. Mr. Vince, that's my man. Mr. Vince, that's my man. Right. But the thing about the megastar thing is this. It's not bad to want a megastar. It's not bad as a Knicks fan. As a Knicks fan, there's nothing wrong with wanting a superstar or two, right? See, Knicks fans, we should want either a megastar, LeBron James type player, or settle for two superstars, right? Two superstars. Right? See, because the likelihood of you getting a Steph Curry, and when I say you, I'm really talking to myself and others. The likelihood of us getting a Steph Curry is random. You never know where these guys will go and what they'll do, right? Right? You never know. When you draft somebody, you never know who will be what. The best thing to do is be patient. That's why when people say things like Quentin Grimes is the next Klay Thompson, I'm like, easy. Slow down. Patch a break. A dude told me one night on the Knicks at Night podcast, and I'm not for sure if he was there, but somebody in the chat said that Quentin Grimes is going to be Ray Allen with defense. And so for that reason, while I don't dislike Grimes, I dislike these things like, hey, easy there. Easy. Calm down. Let's just let Quentin Grimes be the best version of Quentin Grimes first. Right? Let's let Grimes be the best version of Grimes. And this is not a referendum on Grimes or anybody else on the roster. What I'm saying is when you hear me say things like, hey man, that kid ain't nothing but a ham sandwich, it's because I'm prompted to say these things because people are calling Quentin Grimes champagne, caviar, and bubble baths before they even, yeah. So the other thing on the Knicks wants list is for Tom Thibodeau to play the kids. Tom Thibodeau, if you're watching, play the kids. Tom Thibodeau, if you are watching, play the kids. A lot of the stuff that you said in the press conference makes sense in a system sense. But I saw the Indiana game the other night. And you said, and y'all tell me if this is true. Chat, y'all know how y'all hold me to an unbelievable standard, and I appreciate that. But tell me if Tibbs said this. We need Evan on the floor for his shooting because he's playing with Brunson, Randall, and RJ. Did Tom Thibodeau say that? Tibbs, if you're watching, you said that. You said that you need Evan Fournier on the floor because you need shooting and spacing. Right? But then you didn't play Evan Fournier for one reason or another. He an old man. Geez, for the love of Mike, he 29, he 30. He an old man. Right? He an old man. For you know what I'm saying? For the love of Mike, he's an old man. Right? But you started Cam Reddish, and all of a sudden, RJ Barrett is knocking down threes. Did anybody else notice this? Am I on an island? Am I on Freezy Island? Chat, am I on Freezy Island? Y'all let me know. Am I on Freezy Island? Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett started in a backcourt together. All of a sudden, Jalen Brunson can get whatever he wants, and RJ Barrett is knocking down threes. Did I see that? Was it just me? Did I notice? Did y'all notice, chat? Chat, did y'all notice? Did y'all notice that without Evan Fournier, you play RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish together with Jalen Brunson? All of a sudden, RJ Barrett can knock down threes. Cam Reddish is getting open looks from three, and they didn't go in. And can't look. And I ain't gonna sit here and say Cam Reddish looked like Reggie Miller. But Cam Reddish got good looks. All of a sudden, the spacing looks different with Brunson, RJ, and Cam. RJ Barrett looks like a shoot. Look, last year RJ Barrett played the three, and he looked like a clunky three-point shooter. 2 seasons ago, RJ Barrett played the two. He shot 40% from three. RJ Barrett's rookie year, they had him playing with Wayne Ellington, Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock had RJ Barrett at the three. RJ Barrett couldn't shoot. RJ Barrett at the two, all of a sudden, shots go in. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Sherwin says Cam affected the game without scoring. Most Knicks fans can't see that. I don't want to. Hey man, I don't want to go that far because Indiana is terrible and they are gonna be terrible. But I'm not knocking what the Knicks did. I'm talking about what the Knicks did systemically. I don't care who the opponent was, basically. Right? I don't care who the opponent was. The point to it is systemically, how did the Knicks look with RJ Barrett at the two? Subliminal 209 is in the building. What's good? Ms. Margaret says Tibbs is stubborn, but he's not stupid. And Paradise says, add to that, Cam taking on the toughest defensive assignment helps RJ concentrate on his offensive game. Paradise, y'all gotta let me. Listen. Doug, look, I know in other places y'all go, people don't necessarily pay attention to the chat. I pay attention to the chat as best I can. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get on a roll and I got to stay on that roll because, you know, you don't want to lose your train of thought. But this right here, you got to let me build towards this thing. We ain't in no rush. We got another hour and a half. Hey, listen, I ain't in no rush to get nowhere. We got another hour and a half to rock and roll. Trust me. Unless something unforeseen happens, then, you know. Right? And so Paris said, hey, so Douglas says, Cam taking on the toughest defensive assignment helps RJ concentrate on his offensive game. I'm just saying. Or in this case, he's just saying. And Sherwin says Indiana is the worst team in the NBA by far. And you know what? I can dig it. I can dig it, right? But they get paid too. And I was thinking about, I was in the hospital, man. I was in the hospital and at the hospital and with the missus. It was like a weird week last week, but that week is gone. We back. I was thinking about this Indiana game. And I was like, dang, Cam Reddish can't hit. Hey, but the shots were there. Jalen Brunson able to operate against an opposing point guard. That was there. Hey, and Paris Douglas says, I'm a quickly Obi Grimes guy, but Cam being a plus 19 is huge. Yes. Yes. And so, just for the record, I'm for all the kids. I want all these kids to be good. All of them. All of them. Y'all already know, man. I'm RJ. I'm RJ and quickly all day. I'm splash and dash. I'm splash and dash, man. I'm splash and dash. While one of them is splashing, the other one is dashing. I love it. I love it. When one is knocking down threes, the other one's going to the rim. I love it, bro. I love the splash and dash combo of quickly and RJ. I love it, right? But I love all the kids though. And here's the other thing too. Right? So the two things I mentioned, like what the Knicks want, what Knicks fans want versus, you know, what we got. Right? Here's the other thing. The third thing that I think that what Knicks fans want. And whether this is on your list or not is not as important as you actually having a list. Because you should actually have a list of things that you want. Here's the third thing on the list. An innovative offense. Knicks fans want Tom Thibodeau to run an innovative offense. Knicks fans want Tom Thibodeau to run an innovative offense. If that's on your list, throw a check mark by it. And if you're a Knicks fan and it's not on your list, just jot it down at the bottom with like a question mark by it. Because maybe you want it, maybe you don't. But Knicks fans in general, in my opinion, want Tibbs to run an innovative offense. So if you have that on your personal Knicks fans wants list, just nod your head. If not, just jot it down at the bottom. Right? And so for those that don't know, the Knicks right now are basically running the same offense they've been running under Thibodeau the last 2 years. It looks mighty different though with weapons in it. It looks mighty different with weapons in it. Right? The offense looked one way with Elfrid Payton in it, and it looks mighty different with Jalen Brunson in it. The offense looked one way with Jalen Brunson in it, and another way with Elfrid Payton and Kemba Walker in it. And Paris, like I says, Sherwin is setting you up with the Indiana is the worst team stuff because of Obi's in the game, slam dunk contest. Sherman went MI like, nah, man, nah. I'm not getting into the Obi dunk stuff because at the end of the day, if he had missed those dunks, it'd have been a different situation. We'd have been in here talking like, man, Obi can't even hit a layup. Nah, Obi earned all those dunks that he got. One thing, he jutted in to try to get a rebound and saw the rebound was going off the rim the other way, and so he just took off sprinting the other way because he wasn't gonna get the rebound no way. Why go in there and try to get a rebound you know you're not gonna get? He just took off the other way, and what's my man hit him with a home run pass? Obi wasn't gonna get the man. Yo, so some of this stuff, like I'm all for Obi rebounding and being more physical, right? But I'm also all for common sense. That rebound, that ball was coming off about 35, 40 feet away from Obi Toppin. There is no way Obi was going to cover those 35 feet. Obi just chose to sprint the other way, and he got hit with a pass, and he dunked. And then on one, he defended a shot, got a fingertip on it. It was defense leading the offense. No, not that one, Will. I'm talking about the other one. Okay. I know which one you're talking about. These are two different things. I'm talking about one was a rebound he wasn't going to get. And now the one I'm talking about right now is the one that you're talking about right now. But what I want to talk about is innovative offense. Right? What I want to talk about is Emmanuel Quickly putting the ball on the deck, hitting Hartenstein. Hartenstein catching the ball, seeing the double team at the rim, kicking the ball out to R.J. Barrett in a corner for three, and R.J. Barrett nailing it. Y'all hear me? Quickly broke down the defense, shoveled to Hartenstein. Hartenstein is double. People in the paint with their hands up. Hartenstein having the mental awareness to kick it out to the corner for RJ. See, if there had been Mitch may have bobbled that pass and then pump fake it, tried to go up, and then had to kick it out and come back out and reset for a screen when RJ Barrett was on the weak side wide open for three. Hartenstein caught that pass clean, saw it. Fundamentally, all he did was drop step towards the corner and pass the ball out to RJ Barrett for RJ Barrett wide open three. It's the evolution of the Knicks offense. It's the evolution of the Knicks offense. And guess what? And here's the thing. Here's the thing about that pass from Hartenstein to RJ. Right? Here's that thing. Okay, look who in the building. Queen BK is in the building. Queen Steph. That's my air horn. I'm doing it with my mouth. I can't afford a soundboard yet. So, yo, Queen says, salute to one of my biggest supports. What's good? What's good? Hey, man. Hey, Queen, listen. Dope stuff supports itself. Yeah, hey, dope stuff supports itself. You super good. I saw you the other day. Graphics and stuff and new logos and shit and all kind of. I was like, look at y'all want to rumble with the B, huh? Yeah, man. I saw Queen the other day, man. I was in what was that Friday morning? Was that Friday morning or something? It might have been Friday morning. Yeah, so salute to the Queen. Kerry Cox is in the building. Rayology is in the building. What's good? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So a lot of things we saw, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of getting what we want, right? But this fourth thing, I don't know if we're gonna get what we want. So I'll say it. It's on my list. It's on my list. I'll say it. I don't know if we're gonna get it. I doubt. This is the one thing I doubt we'll get. A deep playoff run. This is what Knicks fans want, though. Not early on. Not right now. Not right now. Not at this moment. At this moment, Knicks fans are probably in wait and see mode. Yo, AC is in the building. What's good, AC? AC, I'm trying to work on some Patreon stuff this week, man. Trying to work on some Patreon stuff and some member stuff. Trying to work on some Patreon stuff and some member stuff this week, man. Gotta do that. Gotta put some of that stuff out there for all the members and all of that stuff. Wave Space is in the building. Okay. Recession proof. D Nice is in the building. D Nietzsche. What's good? Wave Space with the don't nobody have the swag game like Wave Space. Nobody has a swag game like Wave Space. Just cool as hell. Right? AC, the Patreon stuff, I don't want you to look out for it, man. I need some help. I need some help with the Patreon stuff and with the member stuff. I need some help. I need some help with it. I've been trying to put together a joint. I got like 3 things that I'm trying to work on at once, and I wasn't able to do it over the weekend because this medication that they put me on, man, it made me so sleepy, bro. Like basically, it was for an infection, and so every time they like, yo, take it every 12 hours, and I'm like, man, I'll take this thing, but it ain't gonna make me sleepy. Alpha Griffin is in the building. Yo, they like, yeah, the doctor was like, yo, Uncle Freezy, I know you try to be busy. I know you try to be active. I know you got a lot of stuff going on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you got to take this thing like every 12 hours and it's going to make you drowsy. So make sure you get all your stuff done. And then, like, man, I'm a mule. Man, this thing ain't going to make me sleepy enough. For Shizzles in the building. What's good? What's good? Hey, Rocket, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, you got. Hey, let me know, and I'll know if I can accommodate. Remember, I'm a little I got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, right? I'm looking out for myself and others right now. And so there are, depending on schedule and all that stuff, man, I gotta, just be mindful. Just be mindful that I'm operating at like 45% right now. I'm operating at 45% because I gotta, what I'm saying, make sure I do some, I know what it is, without me getting, without me pulling out the violin and all that stuff. I know what it is. Make sure y'all, and here's the thing I meant to say real quick. Make sure if you're a first time listener of this channel and you coming through trying to figure out what this thing is. So first of all, welcome. And this thing is what you call a family affair, right? So even though you're looking at Uncle Freezy, you know what I'm saying, the representative of Blorange Tears, there are other channels that we network with too. For the Love of the Game, the For the Love of the Game podcast is the number 4. OUR, the Love of the Game podcast. Make sure that you go like all the videos, go in their catalog and just hit the thumbs up on all their videos, right? Just go to the tab and open it up, click the like button and like all their stuff, and then subscribe to the channel and leave comments. And the same thing for Dope Soul Sports Talk. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go subscribe to the channel, like all the videos, leave comments and stuff like that. Share on y'all social medias. Do the same thing here too. We want to grow all these channels, you know what I'm saying? Because we all do the same, we're all in the same realm. We're in the same realm, but we do it differently. Right? We're all in the same realm, but we do it all differently. You know what I'm saying? Variety is the spice of life. So make sure you support Hardwell and Chef. Make sure you support the Queen Bee. Because you don't want to rumble with the bee. Just go ahead and support her joints. Support these joints. Right? But here's the thing. Here's a fall talking point that I wanted to touch on about what Knicks fans want. A deep playoff run. I doubt we'll get it. But it doesn't eliminate the fact that I want it. Right? And I understand that you can't always get what you want, but it doesn't eliminate the fact that I want it. Come April, whether we win 50 games or not, I don't care. I want 50 wins. I just spoke to that last night, and I'm going to put that out there on our audio podcast. I'm going to upload that in a few minutes. I meant to do it and I forgot. Happens. I'm human. It happens. I'm human, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be an android, but I can only be a human. That's what it is. But I want a deep playoff run. Come April, I don't want to be the bug on the windshield. For once, I'd like to be the windshield. And I know people are going to say, man, this is the deepest draft since 19. I get it. I get this is the deepest draft since 19. I think me and Paris Duggar were born in the same year. So I'm a guess. I'm gonna take a stab at around what year Paris Duggar was born. This is the deepest draft since 1968. I'm gonna take a guess that me, Mr. Vince, and Paris Duggar were all born around the same time. This is the deepest draft since 1968. And I know Knicks fans, listen, Knicks fans, I know you want Victor Wembanyama, right? Some of y'all have no idea how good this kid is, though. No idea. If you thought Chet was good, you have no idea how good this kid is. If you thought Chet Holmgren was good, if you thought Victor, if you thought Paolo Banchero was good, you know how you have zero idea how good this kid Victor Wembanyama is. Okay. Don't even think Anthony Edwards. Don't even think Zion. Don't think Zion. Don't think Anthony Edwards. Think LeBron. Think Kevin Durant, maybe. Coach is in the building. What's good, Coach? Ray says Victor is KD on steroids. He's not as good of a shooter yet. He's just big. Think KD except bigger. Think Kevin Durant. Think Texas Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant at Texas with DJ Augustine and PJ Tucker. Remember that Texas team? PJ Tucker, Kevin Durant, DJ Augustine at Texas. Think that Kevin Durant. The kid is that good, and we know it, right? The kid is gonna be that good, right? But I don't care. I don't care. Dre is in the building. What's good, Dre? What's good? Hey, Dre, I need your help. As usual. As usual. For those that don't know, man, I'm like the granddaddy that want to do everything that don't know how to do nothing. I know how to do handy stuff. Like I can work with my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like if your car overheat, you know what I'm saying? Your car overheating, I already know. It's your hoses, your radiator, your water pump. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I already a sensor. I already know. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this Discord and all that stuff, man, I don't know nothing. Darren Wayne is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, the bat signal is in air. Darren Wayne is in the building. Wiz is in here like, I don't want Victor. I would take Scoot. But this team, as it is, takes us to the promised land. Hey man, you already got Brunson. What you gonna do with Scoot if you got Brunson? If you get Scoot Henderson, what are you gonna do with either RJ or Brunson? And is Scoot actually 6'2"? And is Scoot actually 6'2"? Is Scoot actually the size that they're billing him at? Is he 6'2"? Because a lot of y'all had questions about a small backcourt, And if y'all start saying Scoot Henderson, people are keeping receipts. Because we can't talk out of both sides of our mouth. We can't have a small guard. A small guard. And then be like, yo, I want Scoot. Tuning music in the building. I don't want a small guard, Uncle Freezy. Uncle Freezy, you love small guards. No, Uncle Freezy loves talent. I love talent. You feel me? I love talent. I don't care what size it is. Allen Iverson thought I was a bodyguard one time. I am so much taller than Allen Iverson, it's almost ridiculous. And they had Allen Iverson listed as 6 foot, 165, of which he was neither. If Allen Iverson is 6 foot tall, I'm 6 foot tall. If Allen Iverson is 6 foot tall, then that means I'm 6'11". Jay Boogie in the building. Jay Boogie says, this kid has the potential to become the ball player that we all wish we could have saw in the NBA. Rest in heaven, Len Bias. He deserves a comparison, and this kid, Victor, could be it. Amen. Yeah. Yeah. And so the point that I was making to all of this is I want a deep playoff run. And if that means get other guys, I'm okay with it. Because a lot of y'all said, like what a lot of y'all said, this is the deepest draft since such and such. So Jay Boogie wouldn't know nothing about this right here. This might be just me, Mr. Vince, and Paris Duggar, but this might be the deepest draft since a random year, like 1968. And I want a deep playoff run, and here's why. When you toil in the field for so long, often you have to at least get part of the reward that you're reaping these, you know what I'm saying, that you're sowing these fields for. You don't just toil just to toil. You toil to get a reward. Right? You don't work this hard and suffer for so long. See, the thing about long suffering is you suffer long because ultimately there's a reward at the end. Right? See, that's the reason why they call it long suffering and not suffering for a long time. Long suffering is you basically sacrifice a lot of stuff because you know there's a reward at the end. Long suffering. You sacrifice a lot of stuff. You suffer through some stuff because at the end you'll be rewarded with something that is so great it makes the long suffering worth it. Suffering for a long time just means you just suffering for a long time for nothing. Is that what we are? Are we long suffering or suffering for a long time? I'd like to think that we are long suffering, like putting in this work, sacrificing, doing the right things, building the right way, not skipping steps, doing all this stuff the right brick by brick, doing it because at the end of the day, we will get rewarded with something greater than what we were long suffering for. And Mr. Vince says, but now with Brunson, our young core will pop, and winning 45 plus games takes us out of the lottery. And so what? Do you need to be in the lottery? Do we need to be in the lottery? No. Do we have to earn our way into the lottery? No. We don't have to earn our way into the lottery. We don't have to earn our way into Victor Wembanyama. Because here's the thing. Whoever gets Victor Wembanyama, they're not going to trade for him. They're not going to trade that pick. Right? Right? And then asking a team like the Knicks that are trying to climb their way out of the doldrums to tank for another year? Ooh, good comp here. All right. So Paris Duggar says, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, Victor can be a Lou Alcindor or Ralph Sampson. God dog it. See, these are the type of conversations I'd like to have on Old School Knicks with Anthony D on Sunday mornings. Right? Because Lou Alcindor? Are you kidding? Ralph Sampson? If Ralph Sampson could have stayed healthy, I'm just saying. So the thing about the deep playoff run thing I wanted to mention is when you're a long-suffering fan, at some point you have to get rewarded with something. And here's the thing. If you're not going to get Victor Wembanyama, because we're not, I don't see this team being bad enough of a team to even be in a run-in, to even be close enough to get Victor Wembanyama. Because teams it's going to be tank-tastic. You thought teams was tanking last year? If you thought listen. If you thought teams were tanking for Zion, if y'all thought teams was tanking for Zion, man, look. If y'all thought teams were trading away all-stars so that they can get a shot at getting Zion, bruh. Memphis legit was sitting down a playoff team. Memphis traded away. Memphis was like, we ain't doing that, and we'll just trade. For a shot at Zion. Man, Memphis was like, we don't need Marcus. What we need Marcus all for? If you thought, man, and listen, and Knicks fans, this is the reason why I say, Blorange Tears family, this is the reason why I say 50 wins is not out of the realm of possibility. You don't play a playoff team every night. If you're the Knicks, 50 wins is attainable. Because think about in the grand scheme of things, there are going to be only 8 teams out of your conference that are going to make the playoffs. Right? Guess what everybody else is? not playoff teams. That's what they are. And when a team, say like a team like the Wizards, get to January and they're like 6 games out, they got to make a decision. Do we make a playoff run or do we try to get Victor Wembanyama? Guess what they're going to do? Illmatic is in the building. When a team like Charlotte is 9 games back and they're red hot, think about it, they're 9 games back, they won 4 in a row, and it comes time for them to make a decision on whether they're going to try to make a playoff push or try to get Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, screw that win streak. This win streak don't mean nothing. Teams like Detroit that are middling around 500 and then maybe lose like 6 in a row because they got Alec Burks playing point guard. You know what I'm saying? Do you think they're gonna try to make the playoffs with Alec Burks? Or trying to get Victor Wembanyama? Are you serious? The Utah Jazzes of the world, the Sacramento Kings of the world, all these teams, when it comes time to them to make a choice, the San Antonio Spurs, the Houston Rockets of the world, you think they're gonna try? You think 10 games under 500 in February? You think they come into the Garden to try to win? Are you serious? The Knicks might win 50 wins because of NBA politics, not even stuff on the floor. I can't see a situation where the teams in the Central Division are trying to win games. Man, look, the Chicago Bulls are without a point guard. They start a point guard, maybe out for the season. Maybe out for even long. You never know. I just hope Lonzo Ball have a speedy recovery and a healthy career. But if they stumble out the gate, you think they're going to try to win? Nah, I don't see. The Indiana Pacers. Yo, Hinton Murphy's in the building. What's good? Woodshed 1914 is in the building. Woodshed says the Knicks can go 10-72 and still not get the first one. Have y'all? Yes. Yo, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. Sometimes, like behind the scenes, I'll be talking to Mr. Hinton. Like, we wrap up, we play that little outro, and then we behind the scenes or whatever, just hanging out backstage. And I'll be talking to Mr. Hinton like we legit ain't got nowhere to go. Like, legit, hey, Hinton Murphy is the easiest person in Knicks universe to talk to. Just easy conversation. I gotta cut myself off, man. I gotta let me not take up this man whole day. Coach said he had a technical difficulty. Let me put the thing in here so I can bring Coach in here. Hey, Coach, you good to go? Bim. I'll be talking to Mr. Hinton like Mr. Hinton, it's like the easiest conversation like you ever had. Like you just chopping it up. He was like, "Oh God, dog it, man. Let me get out of here." Oh boy. Let me bring my. What's good, boss?
Yo, there he is.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother.
Yeah.
Much love to you and Miss Mocha, brother.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man.
We missed you, man.
Hey, man, it's good being missed.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It feels good to be missed, bro. That means people love you and appreciate you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
especially,
man.
We had two nice little positive things with the preseason games. You know what I'm saying? It was an exciting time, but
yeah, man.
Obviously, life is more important than getting you and your family right. So,
yeah, man.
But one thing about families like this Blorange family, we always here for you, brother. So
yeah, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate. Yeah, man. Hey, I was breaking down this thing about what the Knicks want versus what we get. So I know I did the list of about the things we want, but I wanted to just really quick just expound on what we got and then move on to some other stuff. So I went and so I spoke about. Let me shout out my main man, my brother Woodshed 1914, one of the smartest people in Knicks universe. Listen, if you want to get your brain put in a blender about Knicks talk to Woodshed 1914. He's on Twitter at Woodshed 1914 on Twitter. The dude is so smart that he puts things in perspective and it's like sobering. It's like somebody just puts you into like a mental roller coaster ride of goodness. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my main man, Woodshed 1914. Ivory 10, what's good? I kept forgetting. Ivory 10 was like, "Hey, Uncle Freezy, you never put the link in the chat." And then today I jump on and didn't put the link in the chat. So Ivory 10, if you want to jump in and hang out with us, by all means, man. My apologies. It's just we hadn't been rocking it so long. I had so many things that I wanted to say, and you know what I'm saying, get off the thing. So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. So all those things that we wanted, but as Knicks fans, we got something, right? And the thing we got was Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
So we wanted a megastar, right? We wanted an innovative offense, right? We wanted to play the kids. We wanted a deep playoff run, but we got Jalen Brunson, right? Like a bird in the hand. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So if we don't get Scoot and we don't get Victor Wembanyama, we do have Jalen Brunson. And I know that sounds like a weird, bizarro consolation prize. It's not. Because actually, Jalen Brunson stabilizes the point guard position so that the other things on the roster can flourish. So while Jalen Brunson is not a beautiful bouquet of flowers, right? Jalen Brunson is fertile soil. And like people are like, what I need with a bag of dirt? You know what I'm saying? No, it's not.
Can't have flowers without the dirt.
Right. You got to start somewhere, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Flowers don't grow in the air. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So that's where we are. Bro, you look like you done. Hey, you stressed out?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know about stress.
You look like you done lost weight in the face.
Yeah, well, I need to lose weight everywhere.
You look like you done
But-
lost weight in the face. Hey, what's up, Ivory?
What's
What's
up,
going on,
Ivory?
fellas? How you doing? Salute to the chat. Salute to the mods.
Salute. Yeah,
Salute to you, Fuzi, you and the family. Hope all is well. Coach, how you doing, man? Good to see you guys.
good brother. You too.
Hey, you got
Yeah,
YouTube playing in the background?
Yeah, let me. Coach, how you doing, man? Oh wow, there we go. Sorry about that, fella.
No doubt.
No, but yeah, I got a little bit of my own little home life, with my oldest getting injured and his surgery, and he actually went to the doctor today, and didn't get the greatest news as far as he just can't go back to class yet. So I'm nervous about him staying on top of that. When he's not in class, them teenagers. He's 18, going to be 19 this week, and even though technically he's a man, there's stuff us parents got to stay on top of with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to make sure his studies are on point.
Right.
So that, and my son is here because of the hurricane thing, and
The other one.
my other one, my younger one, yeah. So, we're trying to figure out. We're supposed to go up to Pennsylvania to visit my older son, me and my ex. So, I got a lot of things going on, but still rocking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Life
man.
goes on.
Everyone's
Got stuff.
Yeah, the chat really want to get on you about Cam Reddish.
Oh yeah, I can see they saying stuff about Obi too, but
Yeah, the chat want to.
but there's also hundreds of things that I did predict that are happening too, but I won't puff out my chest on that quite yet because it is too early. I don't want to say I told you so about the Brunson thing and what it did for RJ and Randall already, and just in 2 games we can see what he's done for them, because he's going to do his own thing real well. But I always said his worth was not as much as his competency of what he's going to do and provide, but what he's going to provide for others is what his true worth was to me.
Right.
But yeah, I will be the first in line to eat crow nuggets if Obi turns into something. You know what I'm saying? You want me to do I love Obi t-shirt or what? Like I said, I didn't hate him. I just thought compared to Randall, when people saying he's should be starting ahead of Randall and all that stuff, that's the and just for dramatic effect, I use the word trash, but maybe a poor choice of words, whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. And then
But if they want to ride on me for it, that's cool. That's part of me being a Blorange public figure. I'll take it.
YouTube celebrity, Yeah, man.
I'll take a 90% correct on my predictions any day so far. But the Cam thing, I don't think there's anything wrong with him right now. I mean, as far as he's showing athleticism, he's showing energy. Like the things that people are worried about with him, I don't think he's showing that he's listless or selfish or doesn't care or doesn't play hard. He seems to be playing hard to me. Just the shots aren't falling, unfortunately, and if that's what he is, then maybe we can't count on him. So
yeah.
So
And that's ain't nothing to that. And then plus it's the preseason, bro. It's so early. It's so early. You can't go by player performance right now. What we'd like to do is go by the systems. You know what I'm saying? Just go by what the systems are showing us. Because what happens is they're going to run these systems offensively and defensively, regardless of what. Yeah. And so that's what you really want. You want a culture of accountability where you put systems in place and you grade people in that system based on their performance and you hold them accountable. Right? Hey, Ivory, man, what's good, man? How you been?
Man, what's happening, man? Fellas, it's incredible. When you get our age, coach, don't you worry about it. You're going to have some good ones and some bad ones, When
Oh
you do
yeah,
this long
man.
enough, you're going to pick some good ones and some bad ones. But, I
I'm
agree.
just glad I woke up this morning.
That's right. That's
At
right.
this point.
I agree. Cam was definitely giving his all. He didn't perform the way we wanted, but he definitely played some solid D out there. He gave us some good length. He got in passing lanes. I think he still deserves another, some more chances here in the preseason, because I don't think he's shown us everything he can bring to the table. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't continue to give him a chance. No doubt about that.
Right. And then plus two, I think we have to take things in consideration. So Cam basically in game 1 sprained his ankle, came back in game 2 and played on that ankle, right? And his shot didn't go. And so what we should look at is not the fact that those shots didn't go, but look at the fact that my man bounced back from game 1 to game 2 and provided something that RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson hadn't seen in a long time. And that is floor spacing for them to operate. RJ Barrett stepped into one of those 3-pointers. RJ Barrett was so wide open, bro. You never see a Knick you rarely see a Knick that wide open on a 3-point attempt. And RJ Barrett just stepped into it. Right, left, one. He's left-handed, so it's right, left, 1-2 splash. You know what I'm saying? During the season last year, you didn't see that often.
I was more watching Cam to see the quality of his shots. Were they the right shots to take? Did they come in the flow of the offense, or was it anything forced or kind of out of the flow of the offense? And I think he did a good job by staying within himself and within the team offense. They didn't fall, but I thought his shot attempts were the right shot attempts. I think that was the important part I wanted to see.
Yep.
And when I said it after the first preseason game, if it wasn't for the scrub squad going in there towards the end, and we kind of fell off offensively a little bit in that last quarter. I'm like, the way the offense is looking and the flow of it, even though it is preseason, we look like we could score 130 points easy in a game and make it look kind of easy. Like, wow, we just scored 130. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, and that's what happened in the second game. I mean, it wasn't like someone we had a nice little offensive output, obviously. But besides that, it wasn't like someone on the team had a night where they bust out 8 or 9 threes and we're shooting 60% as a team, and like a crazy night where we got 130. It was like just in the flow of the game, we scored 130 points. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I
wonder if this will continue. I wonder if Tom's offense will continue to, if they'll continue to run like this. I know they made that a priority, when they talked and did their interviews. But I'm just curious. I have never seen a Tibbs offense kind of run like that. So I'm curious to see if they're going to keep it up. I think it is definitely to our advantage, especially in the second team and with our second team. But I'm wondering, if the starters will be running as much this year. We'll see, I guess.
Hey, peace, Freeze. Peace, Coach. What's up, Ivory? I haven't seen y'all in a while. It's good to see all y'all. Yeah. And I wanted to comment on Ivory. Provided when Tibbs has the talent, his offense can spike up. When he was with Minnesota, he had offensive talent, and they were amongst the best in the league as far as efficiency on offense. So provided the talent and the right decision makers, like Tibbs gives autonomy to his players, especially point guards, to do what they need to do. And if we have smart decision makers like Jalen Brunson on the team, we should be fine offensively.
Should be, yep.
So, provided we have the right players, like Tibbs will have a good to solid offense, provided we don't have injuries and other things that of the nature. But I don't see us having any issues on offense. And like Coach said, it wasn't really like we were shooting the lights out. It was pretty heavily balanced as far as our offense. Some guys came in and they got going, and then they started taking turns, and other guys started to get going within the flow of the offense. It wasn't like guys were spamming threes, other than maybe Obi. Obi got hot from 3, but outside of that, everyone played a pretty bog standard game.
Are you
Like,
saying
no one
you
really-
saying that the investment in Don McClain paid off?
Probably.
You remember Don McClain? You probably, Dre, you might not be old enough.
Vaguely.
Bye Bye Miss American Pie. Drove the
Okay,
Chevy
yeah,
to the
yeah,
levee,
yeah.
but the water was dry.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't see any issues. But about Cam, like the first game, it was clear he was like pressing. He came off the bench. He was trying to do like a million things at one time, and you could see the wheels turning in his head. And then the second game, he kind of slowed down. The shots weren't falling, but on defense, he was very active. But you could also see like he was out of place a lot on defense because I don't know, like you can tell like a lot of it is a bit overwhelming. And I feel like once he gets more reps,
Dre, hold on. Let me stop you right because I knew this was gonna come up.
yeah,
So as soon as people start saying something about Cam's defense, I watched the game twice. Jalen Brunson gets beat a lot.
oh yeah,
Jalen Brunson gets beat a lot. And this game that just passed, I know it's preseason. And I know that this team needs to develop some defensive chemistry. And I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson is a bad defender.
mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying. But you could see RJ and Cam aware that Jalen Brunson may get beat. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson is a bad defender. I'm saying, because Jalen Brunson is a signed free agent from another team.
Yep.
Coming to a team of guys. RJ has been here. Cam has been here. Randall has been here. Mitch has been here. The only guy that started the last game that hadn't been here was Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could tell there was some plays where Cam was kind of hedging a little bit because they don't have chemistry defensively yet.
I was gonna say because he came from the Mavs and they had like their system of defense is switching a lot more than what the Knicks do. They don't drop as much, like they switch a ton more. And he was like Jalen Brunson was so willing to switch instead of like fight as much to hold his place.
Brunson
so
he's scrappy, bro. He's scrappy.
Yeah. But as soon as he like misses a step, he's ready and willing to look for the switch.
Right.
And
but that's why you value the 6'8" guys, athletic guys with length, because they can play their man and hedge towards another two, right? And I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson didn't fight and put hands up. I'm saying I saw Jalen Brunson get beat by foot, like Jalen Brunson just got. And listen, ball handlers in the NBA at the point guard position, these guards are so good. Offensively, it's hard to keep an NBA guard in front of you without touching them.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying Jalen Brunson's a bad defender. I'm not saying that he didn't fight. I didn't say he didn't put his hands up. I'm saying Jalen Brunson did all of that stuff. But these guards in the NBA are so crafty with the ball nowadays that I saw Jalen Brunson get, and you could see RJ and Cam looking to kind of, you know what I'm saying?
There's physical limitations on Jalen Brunson, which is
I don't even want to get into.
I didn't want to just say that, but like he's not the most fleet of foot, and he's not the biggest guy. But he plays heavy defense. He plays smart defense.
Yeah.
But no.
One last thing, Coach. I want to throw in one last thing. And when I said Cam was overwhelmed, I didn't want to make it seem like it was a slight against him, like he can't do it. It just requires a lot of reps to build that sort of chemistry. Right. He's like on the fly trying to figure out where to be for the next guy, the next hedge, the next help. And it has him a little bit confused. And it takes reps, especially playing with a starting lineup that he hasn't really played a ton of minutes with.
Right.
But go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, just to boost up Freezy's point. I mean, these are elite athletes that or they're in the NBA, and especially the point guard position. You're talking these guys that can blow by 99.9% of human beings in this world that they line up against. You know what I'm saying? So even the elite of the elite get beat on given plays here and there just because of just like the whole getting. You can't go in a whole NBA career without getting dunked on at least once or twice. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get dunked on. You're gonna get beat. You're gonna have a blooper reel. Just like anyone can have a 10-minute highlight reel, they can make a 10-minute low light reel of any superstar.
Yeah,
and that's why that help defense is so important. From a guy like that has that length and so on and so forth. That's why it's so important. I'm not sure Fournier is going to be able to step in and do that. And I think everyone has pointed out that might be an issue, for the team, because I don't know if Fournier is going to be able to step in and do that defensively. But if we have the offense flowing like that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to need that shooting from him. I think some other guys would be able to provide some shooting and be able to provide the D that we won't be able to fall. We won't really fall by having the more defensive player in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and then as far as, let's face it, but we know we're not a championship level team yet. If we're going to have some things that we need to work on as a team, we're going to have players, no pun intended, to have shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, if that part of his game was perfect and everything was perfect, this dude's a multi-year all-star at this point. If he's a high level defender and doing what he does for us on the offensive side, if he can continue this upward trend with because obviously it all says if he plays regular season minutes with the production he's doing now, he's going to be an 18 to 20 point scorer. He's going to be average about 8 or 9 assists. And then he's going to allow RJ and Julius to have their best seasons in the NBA as well. So that's obviously going to translate into being an all-star. You know what I'm saying? If he keeps this up at the regular season minute mark, because everyone's doing all this stuff in less than what their regular minutes are going to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing that's been kind of promising. And obviously it is the preseason. What's up, Wiz?
Wiz. Gents. General.
El Presidente.
Greetings, Spider. Greetings.
How your fantasy football team doing?
It would have been better if I had my Derrick Henry on my.
Oh yeah, you complaining? That team would have been. That team would have been getting a mud hole stomped in it, man. Without. Let me do Paris Duggar super chat real quick.
All right.
So Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says a steal. And then the Statue of Liberty dunk. Whoa, Obi. I feel you on the Obi thing. To just want to say, Wiz, your Giants look like they may have something. I want to talk about these Knicks though. What I wanted to say to you and to others is I'm not bashing Jalen Brunson. I like Brunson and what he's bringing. I think what Brunson is bringing so far is exceptional. I think he can keep it up. I think he is exactly what we needed. But the thing is, just want to make sure that we keep in mind that we have to carry this momentum deep into the regular season, and we have to allow an orientation period for this team to develop some chemistry, especially with new pieces. But I want to throw this thing out here. I want to introduce this to you, Wiz. Wiz, this is just for you, right? I've been thinking about it over the thing. What if Fournier is not the starter at the 2? What if Tibbs tipped his hand and said, I don't want to start Grimes. I would rather start Cam Reddish. And they go with Brunson, RJ, Reddish, Randall, Mitch as a starting 5. It would that satisfy a Knicks fan base, or
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
We keep winning.
This fan base, and I'm a big fan base, so I would definitely be satisfied with that because
Yeah, I'm a size 46 in the waist fan base.
that's talking about the shoulders, man. The shoulders, son. The chest,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's
I'm
keep it
working
above.
on
Keep
those.
it above the waist, way above, like above the rib cage.
Yeah.
But I actually, full disclosure, Cam Hive, Obi Hive, Deuce Hive, guaranteed. A couple other minor
How
little.
you can't be in 3 hives, man?
Yo, look at the shoulders, son. Look at the arms.
You never saw a rainbow bumblebee, bro. A bumblebee is black and yellow. There's no black and yellow and then sometimes green and then sometimes red. Nah, man, it's 1 hive, man.
Man, you and coach think you're big. I'm big enough to handle 3 hives, man. I got left guns for the Cam Hive, right guns for the but mostly Obi Hive. Full disclosure on Brunson, I was not a fan of bringing Brunson based on a championship run, but I was a fan of him being the man we need to stabilize us and take us to what I think we are now. So there is a little bit of doubt I had about Brunson. Not even necessarily height alone, athleticism, but I'm going to actually step back and contradict myself by one thing. The fundamentals of the game wins the game more than the skills. I mean, as far as the gifts. So Brunson has all the fundamentals, and defensively, body angle, anticipation, all that stuff can offset a faster, quicker point guard to get him not blown by as easily. And then with the rest of the team following the same strategy, there's going to be backup. And so I want to have a Cam. I want to have a Mitch, the rim protection right there behind Brunson to cover up any potential flaws where Fournier would not be able to supply that. I've always been RJ is better at the 2. So therefore, no Fournier, RJ at the 2. I don't care who's at the 3. Just bring RJ to where it should be, Brunson where it should be, and everybody can fill in. So I'm all for it. Knicks fan base
easy with a loaded question. Yeah, and I only say it's loaded because it all depends on what you think the direction is, right? Or should we be trying to win now, or should we be planning for the Knicks' future? And some might say, hey, Cam is not in the future because he doesn't have a deal next year and whatever else. But at the very least, he would have an opportunity to build his value and potentially do something with him. Or if he plays well, who knows? Maybe he could be part of the future. But I just don't think the coach's mentality is thinking that way. Coach is about, I'm trying to win right now, today.
Right.
And that's why Fournier will be in that lineup. And he's probably better right now. I think he would be better for the team as far as winning right now. But is he better for the team long term? And does he have a future with the team? And I say no. But I'm not the coach.
I absolutely I absolutely disagree with just that thing. That one thing, I'm with you, but on one thing is stark. So Evan Fournier is not the best option to win now, right? Because with Evan Fournier as the starter, the team won 37 games, right? And if you project the team to win more than 40 games, then Evan Fournier can't be the guy. And you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. With Evan Fournier is not a player that's going to elevate a team to 50 wins, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Evan Fournier was the issue, though. If you look at who did their job and who didn't last year, I can't say that Evan Fournier didn't do his job. I think he did his job.
I don't. And the reason why we disagree on it is because Evan Fournier was the second highest paid player on the roster last year. And if we just go by what your paychecks say, that means Evan Fournier should have been the second best player on the team. And he clearly was not. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? Because it's this thing that Rob, the knowledgeable Nick, always says, when you want to solve a problem in sports, follow the money. You know what I'm saying? And if Evan Fournier is the second highest paid player and he's your 5th or 6th best player, that means we have an issue. That means we have an issue somewhere. And I'm not knocking Fournier. I like Fournier. Every time I like Fournier because when he wins me at every press conference, every time I see the Mike and Evan Fournier face, I become more and more of an Evan Fournier fan. Right? But my thing is, if you want to win right now, I think that blueprint you saw with the Pacers, where you saw Brunson, Randall, RJ shine with Obi, Cam Reddish compliment, and quickly and Rose stirring the drink during downtime, is the absolute recipe for the Knicks winning. And for those that didn't understand what I'm saying, Brunson, RJ, Randall carrying the load, Cam and Obi complimenting, with Rose and IQ stirring the drink to keep the thing going throughout the game, is a recipe for the Knicks to get to 50 wins. Now, I'm not saying that others shouldn't compliment or shouldn't contribute. I believe they absolutely should in their roles. But if you have Randall and RJ and Brunson carrying the heavyweight, doing the heavy lifting, and notice I didn't say one player doing the heavy lifting. I said that triumvirate, right? Doing the heavy lifting.
Ooh,
and
that's
then,
a thesaurus word.
What does thesaurus mean? Should I use a thesaurus to find out what thesaurus means? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, man. But with Cam and Obi being complimentary, not as like ketchup packets, but I mean, like it's shrimp scampi and that type of you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Complimentary aspect, right? And then Rose and IQ just coming in, just keeping everything flowing. Sometimes come in at the 1, sometimes at the 2, sometimes in the 3-guard lineup. Sometimes communicating Tibbs' message on offense and defense. Those type of things, just keep supporting. That way you don't wear out Rose. You don't give IQ too much responsibility. So you have these guys in their individual things where Derrick Rose can last the entire season and IQ can grow in leadership. Meanwhile, Brunson, RJ, and Randall can do their heavy lifting, and Cam and Obi can develop. Now you're in a situation where there's no pressure on guys named Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes, and others who can come in and just do their part as young players. And then you'll see this team, I believe, take off and go in a I got a pit bull puppy, man, that loves attention, bro. That's what I was over here looking at. My bad, Ivory, my bad.
No
the challenge to that.
This one thing I really trust Tibbs on is his desire and his ability to get the most out of guys right now. I mean, if there's one thing we all know about Tibbs is he's trying to win today. And if he says, hey, this is my guy today, I just believe that that's the right play. I believe that's the right way to go because he believes that that's the guy that's going to help him win today. And that's only part of the reason why I think Fournier is the better player right now for the team to win right now. But once again, I don't think any of these vets should be here right now, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, that's the conversation you and I need to have because we started it. What happened is you and I started down that road, and then we started it towards the end of a live stream. And what we probably should have done, and in hindsight, looking back on it, is probably put a pin in that conversation that day with a promise to do a total live stream onto its own about that topic, about the future.
Yeah, where we're going.
And how the future for every NBA franchise is murky, but you try to have it be less murky. Like every NBA team's future is muddy water, but you try to have it not be as muddied as much. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the Knicks, you don't know what the Knicks' future is. And so we have about 10 minutes left, and we just brought it up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I mean? So maybe what we'll do. Are you free later on today?
Yes.
So maybe later on today we can, maybe around 5 or 6 o'clock, maybe we could talk about the future of the Knicks and just have that be the only topic that we discuss, so that we can parse those participles unto themselves, just like have that be its own conversational universe, so that we can kind of break down the portions of the conversation so that we can kind of unmuddy the water, so to speak.
Or at least put the options on the table and say, okay, which one do you think we might fall into? And I think right now no one knows really which way we're going to go, whether or not we're going to go vets and trade the kids at some point, or trade the vets and go all kids. I don't think any of us really know, but it is a discussion. It is a good discussion in my book.
Right. No doubt. No doubt.
I was going to challenge Freezy. Challenge Coach earlier, and you on the one statement. Evergreen, by the way, is trying to jump on for a minute. So he probably just got in the chat and they can't see the link. One thing is, Coach talked about the 130 points. You got to take off 10 of those points automatically because of the free throws. No, we're not going to shoot 96.5%. We're not going to do that. So let's take off about 5 to 8 points. So it's a 120-something point, right? Okay, Coach. So we're not going to shoot like that with free throws. So that's going to bring our numbers back down to 120. More reasonable rate. 130 was an aberration because of the free throws. Fournier, with 37 wins last year, does not have to change who he is and who he was and how he contributes. Brunson changed dynamics to make that 37 win last year a 45-win team. I was going to give him 10 games, but I'm going to give him like 8 because Kemba won some games for us. So the next 12 games would have won if we had a real point guard from the start. I think more. Kemba won 4 of those, so let's bring Brunson to 8. So Brunson can, with the Fournier of last year.
Kemba Walker?
He won 4 games for us last year. The Boston games, he won 4 games. Give him 4 games.
Man, all them games. Man, Kemba Walker lost the Charlotte game last year for us. I was right there.
He lost more than he won, but he won 4. So that's what I'm saying.
I was sitting right there in Charlotte, North Carolina on a cold Friday night when Kemba Walker, man.
No, but Coach, I mean, Uncle saying he lost more games than he won, but he did win some. And so give him credit for the ones he did win, and that's it's
now you sound like the Fugees. You know what I'm saying? You just lost one, but you just won one. What are we talking about? You might win some, but you just lost one.
I'm just saying that we don't want to disparage. It's embarrassing to one that he only won us 4 games. That's actually embarrassing to say he only won us 4 games. So I'm still disparaging him because I said he won us 4. So adjust those 4 for the 20 he lost us, but the other ones that may not really be accurate. So I'm saying 8 games more.
Were you there? Were you game 1? Game 1 against the Celtics when we had a 9-point lead, an 8-point lead in the 4th quarter, and Kemba Walker turned the ball over 2 times back to Soundview.
Ow.
Soundview gave away the game. Bronx, New York gave away the game. Oh. Gave away game 1 last year. People from the Bronx, y'all should be ashamed of me. I'm of course, I'm ribbing Evergreen G. I'm trolling Evergreen G right now, but last year we had it was a 6-point game. Kemba Walker comes down, throws the ball out of bounds. Celtics go down and score. Next possession, Kemba Walker sees the same defense and fumbles the ball into another player, a Celtics ball hands, and they go down. And then the game is 2. And then I think they take the lead, and then we go into that back and forth like an Aaliyah song, or a back and forth like a cameo. Anybody remember that group Cameo? Word up.
So, yeah, but you supported my argument that with Brunson, Fournier's game last year will not give us 37 wins because Brunson is the one who will change the dynamic to make it a 45-win team at minimum based on that. So that's why when you talked earlier to say that, Fournier can't take us to above 37 wins. All he did was last was 37 wins. He did 37 wins with the bad squad. A better point guard brings us to the 40. So Ivory was on the right path. I'm trying. Back me up, Ivory, man. You got me, right? You got my back? You see where I'm going?
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Thank you very much. Okay.
And hey, Dre, just real quick. You mentioned that Tibbs had a good team when he was with Minnesota, good offensive team. They were a good offensive team. They were efficient, but they did not score well. They did not score on fast breaks. They were one of the worst teams in the league those 3 years, scoring fast break points. That's what I was referring to. I knew they were good and they were efficient.
Oh, okay.
They were not a fast breaking team, and that's what I was saying. I don't know if we're going to be this much of a fast breaking team during the season as we are now in preseason. That's what I was saying.
Okay, that's fair.
That'd be a shame.
Evergreen G, hey, Evergreen, man, it's been a minute. You came in smiling. You didn't even say hello. All you did
I didn't want to interrupt the flow.
Like the cat that ate the canary. The cat that ate the canary can smile. He don't have to explain if the bird tasted good or not because the bird has already been eaten.
Well, normally when Big Freezy says something ridiculous, I'll come in and interrupt the whole entire conversation. But
kicking the door, just kicking the door.
Yeah, what you said wasn't too uncanny. There were some things I wanted to address, and I'm not really
some uneven moments. There was some uneven moments.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm not really one that wants to harp on the olden days of yesteryear, right? You know what I mean? That's not my intention. But this idea that Evan Fournier being the second highest player and the savior last season, I think that's what you were pontificating about. Come on, man.
No, that's not what I said. I never called Evan Fournier a savior.
What can you clarify what you meant by that? Can you clarify what you were saying? Because you said something about so money and he was the second highest player, right?
No, second highest paid. But here's the thing. Knicks fans bash Randall relentlessly because he is the highest paid Knick. He gets bashed relentlessly. And I think it's hypocritical. I think it's hypocritical and a double standard not hold the second highest paid player to that same standard. Because if the standard is Randall gets bashed for being paid so much, then the second paid player, the third best player, they should all be held accountable.
I don't think it was about money, though, Freezy.
Thank you. Yes, it wasn't about money.
It wasn't about how much Randall made. It was really about how he played and how he was playing, not getting back on D, not being a good team sport. You know, the team would win. He'd go walking off into the locker room, slapping laptops. He just didn't have the right mentality and didn't play the right way. That's what people had a problem with him. It wasn't about his money because he really wasn't making all that much money.
Right, and you see, Freezy's got that big old
evergreen, and you know why?
That big old grinning smile on his face because he know what he just did.
I did that because in case you don't see who's on the screen, it's Hoodie Cam. It's Hoodie Cam. Hoodie Cam is in the building. Hoodie Cam, what's good?
What's going on, Knicks family? Long time.
Yes, sir. Greetings.
Hoodie Cam is in the building. Oh my God, Hoodie Cam is in the building. And look, and we don't even have to bash Alec Burks and Reggie Bullock because they are no longer here.
So you know what's dope? Thank you. You know what's dope is that Hoodie Kev probably jumped on because he saw what Freezy just did. He saw that Freezy brought up an unnecessary straw man argument that had nothing to do with what had nothing to do with what Knicks fans were complaining about.
No, that's not true.
Knicks fans were complaining about Julius Randle's money as the highest paid player on the team, or were they complaining about the best player on the team being a poopy head?
No. I see. I like
all the above.
I like Julius Randle, right? But the argument has been for the past 2 years is that Julius Randle gets the most criticism because he's the highest paid. Now, whether you or Ivory or others or myself agree with that argument is not relevant in this case because it's not our argument. Like, I don't agree with it, right? I don't agree with it. And this, you know what I'm saying? And you don't, Ivory don't, and others don't. But there are a lot of Knicks fans that say that the reason why they bash Randle is because he was the highest paid. And if they change that argument to say it's about Julius Randle's attitude, that means they are changing the reason why they bash Randle. And if that's okay.
I'll say this. You do this, you outside in these Knicks streets every day a lot more than I am.
Right.
But I don't listen to it. First off, I haven't heard anybody make that argument that that's the reason why they bash him. But I will say that if someone was to make that argument, we noticed the straw man right away, and logical, more quote unquote educated Knicks fans, if you will, will see it for what it is and let it ride. I won't let nobody like bait me into that silly argument. Like, it makes no sense. I'm just one of those guys like, all right, bro, you got it. But my point in being is even if they did make that argument, why don't those people, if that's the case, ever bring up the TV deal? Because we know that there's a TV deal. We know that salaries get ready to increase, right? So this idea that Evan Fournier getting paid what 17, 18 mil should just unanimously be the guy when we clearly didn't get rid of any of our draft picks that we actually drafted.
Not unanimously.
They're still on the team, which means that we have to play.
I would say more use the term unilateral, not unanimous, because there's never going to be a consensus. You know that. Just to off of what you just said, there's never going to be, a consensus on the way people.
Sure. Bottom line is the reason that this consensus doesn't exist is because unfortunately you have a bunch of uneducated people that aren't reading the collective bargaining agreement, don't even know how to reference it, don't know nothing about the money, and this is why I have to commend the front office for what they did, regardless of whether everybody liked the moves or not. I have to commend them for what they did because they planned 3-4 years ahead. Right now, Evan Fournier could be gone. He could go. He could get moved, team option, do what we want with him. Okay. Right? So we have to look at that and take that into high consideration. And if our fan base isn't reading the collective bargaining agreement, or at least know how to reference it, at least know how to track the money, they don't have no rights to talk about the money. If you ask me, I mean, just like what did Kanye say a couple days ago? I'm not going to argue with broke people about what I do with my finances. You don't even understand how the cap works. And you got the nerve to say that the second highest player automatically should get the most ridicule because the first highest player gets the most ridicule. Has nothing to do with players' money and everything to do with their skill set and what they brought the previous year that gets them, or that earns them, the ridicule that they get now. The money is something that's between you, your mama, and the guy that you signed that contract with, because you're going to pay your mama off and get her to live in a little house by herself too. So we can't we gotta find a way to stop these straw man arguments I get it, but the fan base is as soon as they make the straw man arguments, hey, did you read the collective bargaining agreement yet? Most of them say, well, what's that? Oh, okay.
Hey, it sounds like we all agree that is not, that we all agree why Randall gets the ridicule. So, we can move on.
Yeah, I think you're putting too much credence to that money stuff.
Hoodie Kev, I got you.
These Randall haters, it ain't about the money. It's about their over-the-top obsession with OB session, and they have that's my new word for Wiz and his crew. Nice. The OB session, which is fine to have, but not for the sake or for the detriment of someone that's going to help this team win. Not on my watch.
Okay. So it is OB session by Calvin Klein.
Nice.
Let me do something real quick, y'all. Y'all just be patient with me, man. This a Blorange Tears star is back, and I want to give him his propers. So I'm just gonna give him his space to rock for just a few moments, okay? Y'all just bear with me.
I've learned. Keep Evergreen on. That's who I want. Keep Evergreen on.
No, man. Let me do that.
Because
ladies and gentlemen, in case for those of y'all that don't know, it's Hoodie Kev. It's Hoodie Kev. It's Hoodie Kev. Hoodie Kev is back. I love you, brother.
It's good to be back. To everyone out there, I know it's like, not everyone watching, for those who, who know who I am, I'd like to thank y'all for, the warm welcome and everything. It's been a long road for me to be here again. I want to clear some things up. There was never anything going on between Uncle Freezy and I at all. I guess as put out there to set the record, I was in a life-altering accident, and it's just been a long road back from that event to where I almost died, and by the grace of God, I'm here, celebrating life with my other Knicks fans about this upcoming season. Mets lost, but that's what it.
Bro, $80 million in pitching, bro. $80 million in 2 pitchers.
And that's probably going to go up next. Yeah. I mean, it's one of them.
They were scared to throw the fastball. You saw that, right? They were scared to throw a fastball.
The funny thing, I was you remember Paul LaDuca?
Yes.
The last good catcher we had.
The last good the last offensive and defensive catcher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know
because we had some because Darno was good offensively and terrible. And James McCann and Thomas Nito are good defensively, but
but they.
I know that's a story for them. I know,
but back. But it's good to be back, and to let all the Knicks fans and Blorange Tears know, we'll be back this season on Blorange Tears. Uncle Freezy doesn't get tired of me, and I've learned a great deal of patience. That's why I didn't blow up Evergreen while he was on his nonsensical tirade.
I had to let you get your thing. I interrupted because Evergreen is skilled, bro. He's a skilled swordsman, so just be careful. Evergreen is
Uncle Freezy again. As I just bring up the past, but you are looking at the only person to hold multiple debate championships. This guy right here.
Okay.
So I like to think that Evergreen is, from my first day back, Evergreen is easy. It's like an free lunch.
Oh, Evergreen is free lunch?
You see, I flipped up the hood because I was about to go in on him.
I noticed. I spared him. I spared Evergreen G. I spared him from you. I didn't want to have him to be sacrificed. You know what I'm saying? And
I just there's a lot of stuff I got to get to. I like Evergreen. I do, but some of his takes from we just have never seen eye to eye on a lot of things. But I'm not right all the time. I just make sense.
All the time.
I wish if Knicks fans would have listened to me a year and a half ago, they wouldn't be in their feelings now. They wouldn't have been in their feelings last season. Man. Everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was the villain number one. Yeah, like the Joker said, I'm not crazy. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Right. And this was on the Knicks at Night podcast for those that are new and didn't follow. So the Knicks Morning Drive is usually my joint, you know what I'm saying, that I, share the live stream with and you know what I'm saying, rock the mic with. And so we have people graciously waiting backstage. And I'm sure, and I appreciate everybody waiting backstage, and they probably don't understand what this moment is between you and I, because they may not have been here for since the beginning.
It's been 15 months since I've graced Blorange Tears Airways. 15 months.
Yeah.
Almost 16.
Yeah, man. And we miss you every day. Yeah, man.
I wish I would have been back sooner, but health issues.
Things happen. Things happen.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. So you had your moment on the Knicks Morning Drive. You know how this goes. We got to open this thing back up. The Knicks at Night podcast, though. You know what I'm saying? When we do our thing, and people don't understand. A lot of people that are not new to it, or new to it, they don't understand how beastly the Knicks at Night podcast can get. How aggressive we generally get. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna try and keep those vibes down. I know it's technically the afternoon now, so it's not the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
In some parts of the country, it's still the morning. So
yeah, but remember
all my
replay
West
value.
Coast,
Remember replay value. Like everybody's not going to watch it when we're live. So the title of it is just the title of it. Just like the Knicks at Night podcast, everybody's not going to watch it at night, but it's the title of it. It's when we start. So yeah, man. But hey, Hoodie Kev, let me throw this thing out here at you right quick, and then I'm going to open up the panel.
Mm-hmm.
So, were you wrong about Kevin Knox?
Was I wrong about Kevin Knox? In what sense?
Of him being a Knick. I don't care what it's like, what his career is like anywhere else. But as in terms of being a Knick, would Kevin Knox have been a better fit in this core, say for the parts that he was traded for?
Kevin Knox would have been a better fit if it was not for Tom Thibodeau. Kevin Knox would still be a Knick today. I feel like this. He was sabotaged from draft night.
Is Kevin Knox better than Cam Reddish?
I think he's more talented than Cam Reddish.
Okay. All right. I just want.
Oh my God!
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back, everybody.
I remember now. Yes.
Oh my God.
The hoodie cam take that everyone remembers you for. There it is. The Kevin Knox. There he is. He's been gone for so long that we forgot how idiotic that even sounds.
Well,
Marine, I got your back, Marine.
Listen,
And then he just doubled down on it, said he's more talented than him. Come on, man.
I got your back, Marine. I got your back.
Not only that, Nick said, I don't want Kevin Knox so bad. Atlanta, you guys drafted a number 7 pick. Guess what? We also drafted a number 7 pick. I'll swap that with you and take a first-round pick.
Hey,
that's what the basketball experts said.
But Evergreen G, you can't.
Oh my God.
You can't go by what Atlanta does, because guess what they're doing to Jalen Johnson right now? The same thing they did to Cam Reddish.
Yep, and guess what they did?
Jalen Johnson. So,
and guess what they did? Guess what they did with Kevin Knox? The same thing the New York Knicks did. They got rid of him.
Well,
now Kevin Knox is in Detroit.
We'll take Jalen Johnson.
To be clear, Evergreen, up until Mr. Barrett, there has been a first round Knick re-signed since Charlie Ward. Let's throw that fact out there. So let's not pretend that this organization that we all love and hold so dear and near to us has any clue what to do with a young player.
Man.
God bless RJ, who has to overcome every single obstacle he has had to deal with to be who we hope that he can be going forward, and what he's already shown us.
Straw man.
So
straw man argument. There it is, right there.
It's not. I'm speaking the facts.
If
I'm lying about something,
let me bring up.
But because you don't agree with it, doesn't make it any less not true.
So Ivory, this is the thing that I was getting at. Remember, Ivory, you brought up the point of us trying to get a young star, and so the thing that I was getting at when you mentioned it. So we definitely have to do, an individual live stream based off of what you said, because it's going down. The conversation that you're having is basically going down that road that you and I talked about on a live stream 2 weeks ago, right? About what do you do with the young core? Do you scrap everything and go get one young? Do you consolidate? Put all the eggs in one basket and go out to try to find a Kobe-like young stud? Or do you start your rebuild? Do you trade everything to try to go get Donovan Mitchell again from Cleveland? Or do you try to, what is the next move for this team?
The next move is just to get rid of Kevin Knox and a first round pick. There you go. Problem solved.
Right. And Evergreen. And listen, and here's the irony to that. When you traded away Kevin Knox in that first round pick, the team got worse and missed the playoffs. When
Well,
Kevin
that
when,
irony-
when Kevin Knox was on the roster 2 years ago, the Knicks made the playoffs. When Cam Reddish got here, the Knicks didn't make the playoffs.
Straw man argument.
Yeah, but you know that ain't the reason.
He was injured, man.
I'm not here
man,
to bash Cam Reddish. He's a Carolina boy.
I like Cam.
But my issues and the bottom line is, first off, I just like to say that I'm the one who termed the phrase "baby Bockers." Uncle Freezy knows how I felt about all of my Knicks draft picks, other than Frank Ntilikina.
You and Ivory on the same. Page.
But
even though y'all don't know it yet, because Ivory don't know you, and you don't know Ivory like that, but y'all conversations are similar. So y'all are just about on the same page. So Ivory,
I believe
Hoodie
that
Kev, Ivory, how long you been watching?
A long time, fellas. I'm pretty.
So you do know Hoodie Kev.
I'm excited. I know Hoodie Kev, Evergreen.
Okay.
Evergreen. All I know is no one is hungrier ever than Evergreen. I mean, I have never seen him on a podcast where he's not eating. But anyway, that's
yes. Yo, I swear to God, Evergreen was eating a sub one time, bro. I just wanted to turn on some Keep Sweat. Just because Evergreen T needed a slow jam. What he was doing to that sandwich, bro. I was like, yo, God, Evergreen turned this into Rated R. You know, but that's what I love Evergreen G, man. Evergreen G is my dude. I love Evergreen, man. But
I think his takes are just ridiculous. But,
oh, geez. Why
Wow.
you can't with Evergreen G?
He was a Marine, man. He can't be wrong. Can't go wrong with that, right, Evergreen?
Sergeant is never wrong.
That's right.
Oh, geez. Now he's sticking. Now
he's
he's
just wrong with me putting my left shoe on my dog's foot.
I'll bring it back around, Freezy. I'll bring it back around. So I think the question that we all have is, do the Knicks build the right way? Are they building the right way? And have they historically been building the right way? Do they live and die by their youth like other rebuilding franchises? Or do we go out and recruit veterans to come get and play in front of these youngsters? And, we kind of live and die by them, the Moot Morrises of the world and so on and so forth. If we're not championship contenders, and we're not even close to it. If that is true, what are we doing? Why? And I should stop saying kids because they're not that young, but the fact of the matter is, why are we not living and dying by them? I think that's the conversation we'll have one day, Freezy. Is why are we?
That's the conversation we're going to have.
I disagree.
That's a conversation we're going to have later on today.
Tom Thibodeau is why.
I'd like to chime in on that, please.
Thibodeau is why. I thought I had explained all this a year and a half ago, but no.
Yeah, but it was management.
I pounded my head on the wall so many times,
but it wasn't
and no one listened to me.
Went out and signed those veterans. It was management that went out and signed those veterans. So that's an organizational issue, and an organization.
Let's go back.
You can't give Tom Thibodeau better players than the youth and say don't play them.
I'm not a fan of reliving the past at this point.
No. I want to tell y'all. I'm going to take y'all on a journey, and I want y'all to follow me and see if any of this makes any sense.
It's probably
Let's go
not.
back.
Go ahead.
Oh, it will. So James Dolan decided he was going to step away. And I give James Dolan credit because he has not interfered with basketball relations in years. He hired Phil Jackson because he's Phil Jackson, right? Everyone knows Phil Jackson. He hired Phil Jackson to run the organization and said, you know what? Here you go. I'm giving it to you. You know basketball. You probably know more about basketball than anyone else that's living and breathing, probably. Didn't work out because Phil didn't really want the job. He just gave him, $12 million a year?
Yep.
Yo, can you just start from David Fizdale, bro? We don't got to go this far.
So he hired a guy who had zero coaching abilities or experience, who I think had just got finished playing, in Derek Fisher because he wanted a crony. That didn't work out. So then he hired Jeff Hornacek. That didn't work out. Then got rid of him, brought in Mr. No one knows where he is. Please put it at APB. Current, I guess he's still the current president of basketball operations. I don't know because no one's seen him.
Leon Rose.
Hired him because, hey, he's named. He can bring people here because New York needs a star. That's what we need. That's what us fans want. We want someone that we can put on a marquee and say, come watch him play. But we've been so bad the last few years that all we've gotten is high draft picks. So we have these picks that we've been getting because we've been bad. We have never wanted them. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The organization never wanted them. They wanted a star. But they've been so bad that they just kept drafting higher and higher and higher every year. And we're stuck with these kids who actually, some of them have turned out pretty good. When players have become available, we have just either drug our feet or dropped the ball. You have a boatload of picks, a boatload of them. I think the only team that has more is like Oklahoma City. And I think we just got these picks by accident, to be honest with you.
And in New Orleans. Don't forget New Orleans.
Oh, and New Orleans. So we got these picks that we don't want, but we can't seem to give them away either just because of just ineptitude, overvaluing what we think that we are or have, or just underperforming players that we can't give away. And so you throw picks away for Cam Reddish, who's done as much as Evergreen has done in the NBA. You give away a first-round pick for Cam Reddish.
Come on, man.
Because you don't have anyone else to give it to. Because nobody wants it. I've never seen a team that can't give away draft picks.
Yeah, because nobody wanted Kevin Knox. That's why.
Because
nobody wanted him, so they gave it away. Thank you.
It's like, I mean, on God's green earth, because it's not like Kevin Knox was under contract, right? So it's not like Atlanta had to absorb a contract that was really big. No, his deal was about to end. So he was on an expiring contract, an expiring rookie contract.
Right, and they couldn't give him away by himself.
Who wasn't even playing in Atlanta. And we said, hey, we'll also just give you a first-round pick.
Yeah, because Kevin Knox sucks.
And then he doesn't even play like that because Tom Thibodeau, as we all know, historically hates young people.
Yeah, because especially
just
Kevin
historically.
Knox.
So it's like we're at this point. It's not even a crossroads.
Well,
we don't know, as in the organization doesn't even know what it wants.
Tibbs wants to win. Tibbs wants to win. And if he's got a veteran player that's better than a youthful player, he's going to play him. And if he's got a youthful player that's better than a veteran, he's going to play the youth. Tibbs just wants to win. Now, that doesn't mean we're going anywhere when he wins. That means we're still probably mediocre, but that's my issue. We have an organizational issue of continuously bringing in players to play in front of the youth, whereas we should be rebuilding like they said that we were, and living and dying through our youth, living and dying with IQ playing, starting last year, so on and so forth. We just don't do it. We'd rather go out, pay a mediocre vet to play in front of the kids. We win a few more games than we normally would have, and we get a worse draft pick. That's kind of been our thing. Who is it? I think it was Beers was interviewed the other night on another podcast, and he said the Knicks have lost more games in 10 years than any other franchise. In any other franchise. And we've had a bottom 5 pick or top 5 pick only once in those 10 years. There's a problem with that. That's a problem.
Good point.
Now with Tibbs, come on, guys. I'm a Tibbs
I understand where you go. Oh, my bad. I was on mute. I thought I was talking.
I'm a Tibbs basher right now. Sorry. Okay, Coach. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead. Jump in, Coach.
No, I don't want to cut you off if you were in the middle of a thought, buddy.
Okay, so Tibbs, however,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom.
Tibbs' judgment, lack of flexibility, Tibbs' judgment of talent is questionable, and Tibbs will actually play a veteran if he's just barely worse than a young man. I wouldn't even say if the young man is better. He has to be exceedingly better, dramatically better. Tibbs loves his veterans, and Tibbs also is stuck in his ways, and also gets locked on to certain patterns. Once you see something, Alec Burks is the epitome of what Tibbs is, in my opinion. Alec Burks last year was the epitome of what Tibbs is. So yes, Tibbs has caused us to not develop our young players. Tibbs has caused us to lose games by having guys in there 40 minutes, almost getting RJ injured. Tibbs has caused us to have our veterans worn out by the end of the season. I blame him on even D Rose injury. I still think Tibbs could have pulled back some. Even Kemba's injury could have been probably or break down. He's going to break down anyway. But again, Tibbs' insistence on locking guys in and having them stay in the game for too long is the downfall for this franchise. And I'm seeing it's preseason. I see the hope of him changing that. And I'm sorry, I'm not optimistic about him changing that. But if he does, I think Tibbs is a good enough coach to carry us there if he can become more flexible. If he can make that one little step in rotations, in substitutions, in time management, and in sensitivity to his players' fatigue level, and not have us sacrifice these guys, even as it is right now, even with Randall, and even with Cam, and even with Fournier. I think Tibbs will be the one to make us or break us this year.
Look, and this is the point I'm getting at. Tibbs is doing what any decent coach would do. Okay, his number one job is to win basketball games. Period. Okay, if he's a chef and he's given a certain amount of ingredients to cook with, he's going to use the best ingredients that's going to get the job done and make the dish taste right.
In his opinion, though.
No, it's not just his opinion. It's his years of expertise, and he's played young players before. You remember the Bulls team? They weren't.
It's his opinion. It's his decision.
They weren't old.
You know?
It's his decision in the end. Tibbs is not the developmental coach. We have a whole other set of coaches for that. A whole coaching staff. We have developmental coaches. We have training coaches. We have guys that do that stuff. Okay, his job is when it's game time to put in who he needs to put in, who he thinks is going to help him win better. Now, that doesn't always fall in line with what the fans want, but that's the way it is sometimes. Now, back to what Ivory and I don't know if Hoodie Cam's on the same plan where it's got to be all in on the youth or nothing. I'm not for the problem with that is this. Every championship level team, every perennial playoff team does it the right way. It's about bringing in the right vets that are entering or in their prime, not the ones that are at the end of their prime or are getting out of it or have done stuff in the past and we're hoping to cash in on past, positivity. It's bringing in the right vets, okay, and it's keeping just enough of the young guys to where it isn't a detriment to our current success. Okay, it's not having a both way situation. All the best teams do this, guys. This ain't rocket science.
Here's the difference.
This whole thing is, we have to do what Detroit's doing. We have to do what the Thunder are doing. We have to do what No, it's not. But you can't do it. We just can't do it. There's not enough fans that are all that in New York are patient enough to deal with this way, to go all in with the youth. We're good enough to win some games now. It doesn't mean we're satisfied with the 70 seed or whatever seed we get. It means we have enough assets now, and with the big three we got, and with Mitch playing pretty good, with Obi playing pretty good, we can bring in another piece with the assets we have to go to the next level of where we need to be. It's that simple. I don't think we need to blow the whole thing up because we already have too many youth. We have to trim some of the fat. Trim Fournier, use him for what he is for now, and get what we can get. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I hear where you're coming from, Coach, and I think you're right. We do have that choice now where we can go either way because we do have the assets. But what I will say is the biggest difference between how we're doing it and how other teams do it when they are actually very good is they, first of all, start with a franchise player. No matter how old he is or how young, they start their rebuild with a franchise player. Whether they's drafted or not, 99% of the time he's drafted, and they maybe go out and get another one somehow.
Yeah, but who's to say that Brunson and RJ aren't like that for us right now? These guys are ascending to be our franchise players.
I don't know.
Did you say Jalen Brunson is ascending to be a franchise player? Did you just add Jalen Brunson, who's been in the league for how long? Hasn't even actually played an official New York Knicks game yet for us?
He hasn't even started for a full season for anybody.
That's why I use the word ascending. Maybe you should take your hood off and listen with your ears.
How can you ascend to something that you haven't even actually done yet? Like Jalen Brunson came in.
How many Knicks have done what he's done in the playoffs
last season?
How many Knicks have done what he's done in the playoffs?
How many Knicks have played with Luka Doncic beside him in the playoffs?
I'm talking about what he did without Luka. What did he do without Luka Doncic? I'm talking about how he played without Luka.
Watch. Yep.
What did he do?
What did he do without Luka? Did you watch those games?
The Dallas Mavericks did they win the championship or something?
Nope. He beat the brakes off of Donovan
Brunson.
He beat the brakes off of Donovan Mitchell.
Bro, what I'm saying is what he represents for the Knicks over what anyone else represents. Look, dramatic motions don't make you right, cuz I don't care how long you've been here. You're gonna get the respect.
Right.
You're gonna get the respect for me from what I hear coming out. To me, is nonsense right now. So if I'm on team,
who says that Jalen Brunson, who's like 28 years old, is ascending?
He's 25. What are you talking about?
25. God forbid.
There goes Hoodie Kev. That's the one I remember.
Bro, whatever.
And now he's ascending.
Hey, I respect you, bro. I'm glad you're back, but we can agree to disagree.
That's the Hoodie Kev we remember.
Yo.
But all because you flop on the couch and say he's 28 don't make it right.
We call him an ascending player? Just because we gave him a contract worth $100 million doesn't mean. How many times have we seen that happen and no one has ascended to anything yet?
He's ascended to a lot more than any Nick has right so far, hasn't he?
What has he ascended to
I
exactly?
think that makes sense.
Hold on.
What has he done?
Let me say this. Hey,
what has he done? He's been deep in the playoffs when he was counted on to help the team go there. Because when Luka wasn't there, he took the baton and he took them there. Did he not?
No doubt, Coach.
Did I not see these games?
He earned that
second round. He took them to the second round of the playoffs.
They went to the conference finals. What are you talking about?
There we go. There's the Hoodie Kev. There he is.
What are you talking? I don't know who you debated, because you must have debated guys that don't know their facts. That's all I'm saying.
You're saying that Jalen Brunson carried the Dallas Mavericks all the way to the conference finals with him all a series.
What? Now you're trying to lump the whole thing on him.
Anything in your mouth.
I'm saying what he's done.
Finals.
No, I'm saying what he's done above and beyond any Nick has done without Luka.
By himself. That's what I'm asking, because you said it.
I'm saying he won those games without Luka. That's what I'm saying. He won games without Luka. Whatever.
Okay,
you're gonna talk over me, bro. Whatever. All right. Whatever.
So
you ain't looking to hear my rebuttal because you talking over me. So never mind.
You said it.
Yeah, Coach.
No, I said that you said the reason he went to the conference finals was because he played with Luka. I said I was impressed, and I think he's ascending because of how he played without Luka. Okay, that's what I said. I didn't say he personally carried them there. I said he represents something a lot more than any Nick has done. So right now he represents our best chance of having that franchise type player. And if you don't see what he could do for RJ and Julius already in just these first two preseason games, that shows that all because you're the franchise player, that doesn't mean you have to be the highest scorer or be a perennial all-star. You can be a franchise player and be the leader of the team and making everyone else be the best player they can be. I want that in my franchise player.
Yes,
they don't have
the truth falls somewhere in between you two.
Right.
I wouldn't call Jalen Brunson an ascending franchise player, but I also will give him credit for what he did do. I mean, he did do some good things, but when we talk about franchise players, I don't think Jalen Brunson is probably not it, right? I mean, he's not it. I mean, he's an incredible, great role player, and he's a solid role player that will absolutely help the team. But when we talk about a franchise player, we talk about someone, hey, we know this guy is someone we want to live and die with. We want to build around this guy. And the fact that we were looking to potentially trade, our franchise guys means that they're probably not considered a franchise guy by our franchise. So I'm just wondering, where are we going if we don't have that guy? How are we going to get that guy?
I don't understand how you guys are discrediting and already sweeping under the rug what Jalen Brunson is or could be already. It's mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to me. You're already moving on from this dude. He's done more in 2 preseason games than any point guard has done for this team in 10 years.
Last game. He went 4 for 12 last game. What are you talking about?
So what? Look how the flow of the offense went.
A bunch of flop calls and went to the line 9 times and made 9 foul shots. Great. But he's a solid player. I'm not going to take that away. But he's
just saying that. You just don't notice.
Coach.
Yeah,
so this one, real quick, Coach. I'm going to take this one point. I'm going to give you an example. You know what's really great really great tasting. Pizza with pineapples on it in LA.
Yeah, that's good.
Pizza?
Yeah.
It's good, right? But it's not the best. Just because it's the best pizza in LA, it's not the best pizza. Brunson is the best point guard we may have had coming from Dallas, what he did. So yes, we give him credit for that. But for a franchise player, I used to be down there in Brooklyn or in Ray's Pizza in Manhattan to get me a franchise tasting pizza. So compared to what we've had, means we compare ourselves to the lowest standard of we've been so bad that
Whatever. You calling Obi a franchise player, Wiz. Give me a break.
I'm not, by the way. I'm not calling anybody on the team right now a franchise player. No one. I was never a big.
And I said ascending. He may ascend to that. I never said he was.
I
so you want to twist my words, everybody?
I'm saying, now because of his record, do I say that he's an ascendant or even franchise? Yes, guys, he's done great work. He's done excellent work. But I don't look for just really good player. I want exceptional. I want that exceptional player. So because he's so good compared to
where's the reason why that we can't do that no more is because you can't call a team trash and you can't complain about the records and all the stuff that we're not doing if you're willing to wait. Because on that player that you just mentioned, you got to be willing to wait on that player. And you may have to wait a very long time. And during that time while you wait, you can't point out all the flaws in the organization and all that stuff while you wait. Because we all know that exceptional player, that Ja Morant type player that you're talking about. We know Jalen Brunson is not Ja Morant. And even in his ascension,
so listen, I got a phone call, guys.
Even in that ascension, he won't be. Even in his ascension, Jalen Brunson's ascension, he won't be Ja Morant. We know that.
True. Right? We waited 4 years for Kevin Knox, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. Obi might be our best. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Freezy. Obi might be our best hope at a franchise player at this point. He might be.
He's got all the physical attributes are there.
RJ may be it. RJ may be it. I'm not an RJ fan as far as when we drafted him. I
don't know what you have with what do you have with Caribbeans, bro?
Yo, man, you're doing him personally. That's why, man. Personally.
My whole point was we should have been playing Obies and the Knoxes right from the very beginning, up until they show us that they're trash, and then hey, we get a better draft pick because they were trash, and we move on. But what we did was we brought in people to play in front of them because they were trash or because they weren't as good. I shouldn't say.
You
trash,
mean by like having a Wayne Ellington, a Reggie Bullock?
By having Mook Morris, for 8 months, go out there and win us games that we really that did what for us? Winning these games with these decent vets did nothing for us except for set us back in regards to getting a better draft pick. And I know everyone's like, "Hey, we could have been playing the kids."
I mean, we got IQ out of Mook Morris, but yeah, you're so right.
And even he was a second round pick. We could have got him anyway. That wouldn't stop us from getting him.
IQ.
IQ wasn't a second round pick.
He was projected to be a second round pick. He was projected to go 37 overall, and the Oklahoma City Thunder drafted him, and we acquired the rights of Emmanuel Quickley from the Oklahoma City Thunder for first round. The pick that we got, Leandro Balmero, is that his name? The one that wound up going to Minnesota? Is that the one that Balmero? Is that the one that? Balmero, the dude that went from Minnesota to Utah in that trade with the Rudy Gobert trade. But anyway, the point that I listened to both sides, and what I would like to say is this: I agree with Coach Sum about the Jalen Brunson thing. I think Jalen Brunson is necessary, and I don't want to discount what his impact on the Knicks is going to be. But if you do project going forward. Right, and this is just me. This is me throwing a shot at Hoodie Kev, but for Hoodie Kev. Hoodie Kev, in order for you to have those young wing players that we all covet, I think you have to have a veteran presence at point guard in order for them to develop. You absolutely have to have it. That's why, the signing of Jalen Brunson is not a bad signing, in my opinion. I'm not saying that he's going to be a star, but I think he's going to be rock steady, right? But then when you bring in the other guy, like when you bring in your other guy, your Cams, your Obies, your Cams, your Obies, your RJs, your Grimes. I think all of those young guys are going to benefit just off the mere fact that Jalen Brunson can hold his own in the league, unlike the other NBA point guards that we had. And what it also does is it takes the eyes off of them so that they can flourish.
He's a leader, no doubt about that.
Jimmy Butler, franchise player, coach.
And
What?
Jimmy Butler, franchise player.
What? Franchise player?
Is Jimmy Butler, is he a franchise player?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why I'm changing with RJ is the only one on the team with potentially Obi, but RJ is the only one I see because of his current shooting right now. His 3-point shooting and his foul shooting.
So your guys' definition of franchise player is different than mine, apparently, because to me, it's not about 100% the numbers. I mean, the numbers that have to be there and you would like to be there is the efficiency is number one. You need to be efficient, obviously. That's number one. But number two is you're making the rest of your team better, period. And I think we undervalue, as fans in general, the worth of that ability, because that is an ability. Okay, true. It's not on the stat sheet as far as on his column.
I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that he possesses that he allows other players on our team to ascend to what they're supposed to be. And to me, that's invaluable. Like, how valuable is that?
Only certain players have it.
Jimmy,
Kawhi Leonard has it.
Right?
Because when you think of who's more physically gifted, Kawhi Leonard or Paul George? I would say Paul George is more physically gifted, but it's just something about Kawhi Leonard that wherever he goes, teams tend to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so if Jalen Brunson, if Jalen Brunson has a sprinkling of that automatically is worth the contract in itself.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Like what? And because it, like each, and when I say a franchise, it's our franchise. Okay, at this point, and when a lot of people put these labels on things, they're thinking it's a league-wide franchise player. You know, those are the generational, Hall of Fame level players that there's only you count on one hand in the league. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's obviously 10 to 15 players in the league that tomorrow every Knicks fan in the Knicks universe will be like, oh, hell yeah, I want him. You know, every team in the NBA's got, fan of the NBA's got that, idea of a lot of these players.
Well,
but for the Knicks, for what we need, for the mix of what we have right now, for what we have this year, and I'll use the word, what we're stuck with this year, he is the best fit for what we got, because he's not too old. He's not a veteran who we have to win now with, like the whole Tibbs argument, and he's not too young to where he's still developing. He's right in that sweet spot where he's about to become. He's tickling into what his ability and his prime is. Like Jalen Brunson and the rest of the young guys and the rest of the young veterans we have, they can grow together. And hopefully they grow enough this year to where there is a higher level free agent or maybe a higher level trade, but person that maybe can get a trade would be more willing to be like, look, I like what they're doing over there. I'd love to play for a point guard like Jalen Brunson. I'd love to be a part of this young core and what RJ's turned into. I think I'm gonna go over there and check this out, because if you're a superstar that brings a chip one day to New York, that your superstar goes through the atmosphere. So that's still there. So if we can just take this one little step, and it ain't about being sad, like all these people say, oh, you just satisfied with the play and you just satisfied with only this. Well, with this team and current makeup, we have to be satisfied with that for now, because that's our ceiling. And we want, if we can get the most out of what we got, then it's a win.
Yeah, but
that's all we can do.
The whole point to it all is as not being satisfied with this ceiling.
Word.
Right.
I'm not.
Coach, hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. The thing is not being satisfied where we are right now is because I understand it's two schools of thought, right? Increasing incrementally, like the Jalen Brunson thing, is getting better day by day, increasing incrementally, right? And then there's another train of thought where teams, there are too many steps to be taken correctly for you to get better incrementally. Teams generally don't get better incrementally. Even the Philadelphia 76ers, when they had, think about this team that they had, right? Lou Williams, Andre Iguodala, Mo Harkless, Nikola Vucevic, the center that's in Chicago, and some other young players. They were a second round exit team, right? That franchise says this group of young players can't go anywhere. Lou Williams, Mo Harkless, Andre Iguodala. They had some other guys in there too. I can't remember exactly, but they said that they can't go any forward with this thing. So they scrapped it, they burned it to the ground, traded away everybody, right, and did a trust the process thing, right? And because they wanted to build through the draft and do it step by step. Today, guess what the Philadelphia 76ers are? After all those changes that they made, they are a second round exit team. Right? They are even with James Harden, Joel Embiid, they had Jimmy Butler, they signed Tobias Harris. At one point, they had Al Horford, they had Ben Simmons, they had all that stuff. And through all those changes, they're still getting the same result now that they got prior to doing the trust the process thing, right? So so what I'm getting at is I'm not knocking what you're saying. What I'm saying is it's very difficult to go from. Somebody got something going on in the background, man.
I think it's wisdom.
Oh, okay.
No.
So what I'm saying is it's very hard to go from one step to the next, and I think Knicks fans know this. Because we've tried to do that one step at a time thing, like draft a young point guard, knowing that he's a project, right? He's got all the measurables, right? Let's bring him in and develop him because we know he's not going to be ready day one. And then the very next year, we draft a young wing player that we know is raw, right? And we're going to develop him step by step along the process. And through all those steps that we tried to make over the years, it's very difficult to build one layer on top of the next layer on top of the next layer until you build towards a champion. As a matter of fact, when you do that, it seems like you have more margin for error for lottery busts. You know what I'm saying? Than you do if it's boom or bust. But there are some that want to take that boom or bust model. Because even if you bust, you hadn't lost anything. But if you boom, you have everything. If you boom, you have Kevin Durant. If you bust on it, you have Hasheem Thabeet. But so what? You try again next year. See, because the same franchise that drafted Hasheem Thabeet, number 2 in the NBA draft, is a franchise today that has Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Right? So these are the things that we constantly have to think about. Like, Knicks fans, that we think that we're thinking all alike. Like, we know that we need to build through the draft, but building through the draft, we you do it differently. Now, and the thing is with the Sixers, who did it incrementally, they had the number 1 pick twice, and they had the number 3 pick once. They legit passed on Jason Tatum, right? They passed on the Sixers. They passed on Kristaps Porzingis. Today, the 76. Think about this. 76ers could have. Think about this. They could legit be sitting here with Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis and Joel Embiid. Think about these things, right? And so while we consider the gray area in all these things in the rebuilds, doing it step by step, because I admire your take on the Jalen Brunson thing. I honestly do think Jalen Brunson is ascending. Now, what he's ascending to, we may disagree, but he is ascending and building layer on top of layer, brick by brick, building a foundation is what I perceive Coach talking about. Building a solid foundation so that you can be more and more mistake proof. But building a foundation, like building solid means you don't take those chances, meaning you may never have a roster of Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and Joel Embiid, right? Because you're building by brick by brick. You don't want to take any chances. You don't want to go outside of the lines. But there are some of us, too, that say only way you'll get to the mountaintop is by having a Steph Curry, a LeBron James, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Luka Doncic. The only way that you can get there is by doing that, like going out and getting that type guy, even if you have to pay what seems like can be an arm and a leg.
Because that is what has worked. So why are you trying to create a new recipe when you already have a masterpiece here at your disposal? If you have a blueprint of how something has been done the last, 20, 25, 30 years, right, except for the 2004 Detroit Pistons.
There you go.
Outside of that, every championship team has had a top 5 player. Every single one outside the 2004 Detroit Pistons has had a top since.
What about the Milwaukee? What about the Milwaukee Bucks?
Since Magic Johnson.
What about the
won
Milwaukee
the championship?
Bucks? What about the Milwaukee Bucks? The Milwaukee Bucks model is fascinating to me because I think
they have arguably one of the greatest players in the world. That Milwaukee Bucks team. Oh yeah, you're right. That's fascinating.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you draft him 15, you don't look at him as being that.
Kawhi Leonard was also drafted 29th. Also,
Kawhi wasn't drafted that late.
No.
Jimmy Butler was drafted that late, like 30.
No, Jimmy Butler was drafted late. Kawhi was what? It was late.
Jimmy Butler was 30.
16, something like that.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was. Yeah, we got
15.
Yeah, while we were drafting Amon Shumpert, they were drafting Kawhi Leonard. But anyway,
every single one.
But
every single championship team has had it. So you can't sit here and say, we're just gonna get a bunch of good pieces.
But here's my point though. The point that I was getting at with the Milwaukee Bucks is this: they acquired young players and could have the trade that they got Chris Middleton. Detroit was trying to also include Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie and Chris Middleton were on Detroit's bench, and Detroit was trying to force Spencer Dinwiddie down the Bucks' throat, and the Bucks wouldn't take him. Right? But my point is, the Bucks drafted number 2 in the draft, and you know why? They earned it. The Bucks were terrible. They earned the number 2 pick, and they hitched their wagons to a player named what's his name? I forgot.
Jabari
Parker.
Right.
They did it in reverse. They were expecting Jabari to be the guy, and Giannis.
He should have been, and he should have, and could have been.
Well, Jabari Parker got hurt. That wasn't something because he never lived up to what he could have been because of the injuries that Jabari Parker had. It wasn't a talent. It wasn't a talent thing with Jabari Parker. It was a health and injury thing with Jabari Parker.
Right. But the Jabari Parker thing is not the point. The point I'm making is the Milwaukee Bucks strategy of rebuilding. That was what I'm getting at. Right? Their strategy was do it like Philly, right? Do it like Philly, and then we'll see things go. But then they realized when Jabari Parker went down, they looked internally at their kids, right? Because the thing I didn't mention about Philly, the thing I didn't mention about Philly, when Philly had Ben Simmons and could have had Tatum, and could have had
Markel
Porzingis.
Fultz they got too. Remember?
Yeah, right. They got Fultz instead of Tatum. But what I'm saying, the point I'm getting at is on their bench, they had dudes named, and hear me out on this. They had dudes named Robert Covington coming up through the G League. Right, they had the big guy and I forget his name.
Dario Saric.
They had Dario Saric. Their third center, the center that beat out their third center was a dude, fourth center. I'm sorry, was a dude named
He has dreadlocks. Rashawn Holmes.
Rashawn Holmes. Yeah, Rashawn Holmes was their fourth center. Right.
That's their second was our guy Nerlens Noel, wasn't he?
They traded Drew Holiday. That was on that team. That team that I mentioned with Lou Williams and Iguodala, Drew Holiday was the point guard. Right? So what I'm saying is teams can start with one strategy and morph to something else based on how the kids progress internally. See, that team, if they had patience, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Joel Embiid, Covington, Saric off the bench, TJ McConnell. Anybody remember a dude named TJ McConnell?
Yep.
Yeah.
Off the bench. That team, if they had been patient with that team, they may have taken that step and maybe NBA champs right now. But that team morphed into something different. And they were not patient with their process. They didn't know at the time that they had a generational talent at center. They didn't know Ben Simmons could be a generational talent, right? They didn't have faith in Jason Tatum. They were like, well, what do we need with another wing player for? We need a point guard. And they passed on Jason Tatum. And they traded back. They traded back. Matter of fact, Philly, I think Philly traded up to the number one spot from Boston to take Markel Fultz. When all they had to, if they traded up, So what I'm getting at is with the things that both of y'all are saying can be right. The only thing about what we're saying is we have to apply it with the Knicks strategy. Is see that Philly team, all they had to do was just be patient with their process, right? That Milwaukee Bucks team, they had to shift gears because guys kept getting hurt, right? They had to shift gears. They had to focus all their energy into a second-round pick named Chris Middleton and a malnutritious, undernourished dude named Giannis. They had to do that. Those were their only options. They did that out of desperation, and it paid off. Now, what did the Knicks do?
My question to you, Uncle Freezy, is this, and this is the only question that I have, and there's only one person in the world that can answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Maybe you have more insight than me. What are the Knicks trying to do?
Get rid of Kevin Knox.
Well, that's already happened. So, So no, serious. What you see? You talking about teams and teams? This is what they did, and this is what they did, and they had a process. Well, what exactly is the Knicks process? Because unless Leon Rose jumps on the screen, who's the only person that can answer that,
you're right.
I think he won't come anywhere near a camera. But
right.
Yeah, so that's the thing, because you can't say we're rebuilding because that's not what we're doing. You signed Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson and Evan Fournier. That's not moves a rebuilding team does. But you can't say we're going all in either because you have the RJ Barretts and the Obi Toppins and the Emmanuel Quickleys. So it's like the Knicks are in this gray area where we're just doing things. And that's the easiest, simplest way I could put it. The Knicks are just doing things because they have no direction. Because the direction they wanted to take, they missed the opportunity to take it.
I disagree.
And they had to take the Knicks off ramp. The Knicks off ramp took them in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
I disagree.
We've never taken this direction.
Thank you.
We've never been in.
Is it? What's the direction?
Well, why is it? But that's the problem with people that think as black and white as you think. Okay, the world isn't just black and white. Okay, there's grays. There's areas of gray. There isn't only two ways to do things. This isn't a dictatorship. This isn't a socialist country. This isn't a socialist organization.
I'm talking about sports.
I'm making an analogy. An analogy. Do we have to get a dictionary like a sentence? Like everybody put up a sentence. An analogy. I'm trying to make. All right. I let you talk. Now let me talk. I let you talk. Now let me talk. That's how debates go.
Nonsense.
I'm not talking about nonsense. I'm leading up to. I'm making an analogy to lead up to my point.
What is the analogy? Because you've already been wrong already. So what's the analogy?
Okay, your opinion. All right, so
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong.
And I'm not mad. I'm not even close to mad. I'm not one of those big teeth smilers. So sorry, I'm not mad. I'm just letting you know. I'm passionate. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands.
Because I'm
just telling this. I'm saying that stuff for the chat.
You know why you're wrong, but go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, and I hope you listen instead of you just think about your point so you can react. I just want
you to listen, but I'm already ready to shut whatever you're going to say down.
So here we go. So anyway, I know this is sports. I've been a part of sports my whole life. I've coached. I played at a pretty high level in sports. I've coached a lot of different sports. I know sports. And sports isn't just it's either this way or it's that way. That's not how it works. The Knicks have never had, first of all, a point guard that's this good, and God knows how long. Okay. Number two, we haven't had a young player at the age of 22 doing what this guy is doing right now for this long. We haven't had a top 5 point power forward, which I guess technically Carmelo was, but we haven't had a guy counting on him like that in a long time. Okay. We have a core of young veterans right now that the Knicks haven't had in a long time. Okay. So number one, we haven't been working with that for a while. Number two, we haven't had enough valuable young pieces like we have right now at this time. So we have two things going on the Knicks that we haven't had either one or the other in a long time. So we have not done this before. Okay. So I agree. Only time will tell, unfortunately, which direction we go to from here. So we can't answer all these questions and solve all the Knicks problems right now. It's all assumptions and predictions at this point. So my point in all this is it's a wait and see until we decide, okay, well, this isn't working. We have to go all in with the young guys. Well, holy cow, we're better than we thought. We might have to try to get someone at the trade deadline. We might be able to do something. That's the point we're at right now. That I don't feel we're in this big purgatory, like, oh, we don't know which way we're going. This is the first year we've had this problem. We haven't had a problem like this in a long time, ever. So that's the side I'm on this. To me, it's not all in tank with the youth. Or, oh, Tibbs is never going to play the young guys, so we're just going to be a 500 team and barely make the play in. I don't think we're at that stage right now. We're in this stage of we got to wait and see. Unfortunately, that's the stage we're at. So if you don't agree with that, that's fine. I respect your opinion.
I'm going to tell you why. The Knicks have had the same problem since 1972. The problem is we haven't won a championship since 1972. So we've had the same problem.
Oh my God.
For 50 years. So you can't say this is something new. No, it's not. Until confetti is raining down in the garden.
But you're generalizing.
We've had since Earl the Pearl and Walt Clyde Frazier walked off that court in 1972.
What's the problem?
We've never had a team makeup like this.
What's the problem?
Oh, we've had plenty of makeups in the last 50 years. So you can't say this team is any different than any team.
Hoodie Kev,
I haven't been a happy Knicks fan since June 21st.
You weren't happy in the 90s? You weren't happy in the 90s until when we lost.
I woke up June 21st, 1994, and I was happy. Because I knew my team was going to win the championship that day.
Right.
I knew my team was going to win the championship that day. June 21st, 1994. And you know what happened? A guy decided to take a ride on the freeway at 25 miles an hour, and I got pissed off because it happened to cut in the middle of my game, and we ended up losing by 6 points. Because Uncle Freezy's favorite player in the world had the worst game of his career. But that's another point for another day.
Right. Hey, but without that player, there
We
is
wouldn't
no
have been
NBA,
there.
There is no NBA Finals. There is no Eastern Conference Finals without that guy.
Yeah.
Right. But you're
I
just
wanted
making
him
my
to show
point.
up in the time
Like-
and the days that meant the most. Can he
Even
show
that
one day?
team, wasn't built like what this team is built like.
But the
And
point
I'm
is-
not saying the blasphemy of that this team is better or could be better or nothing. I'm saying that team was all in with vets. Okay, that they didn't have young guys they were building up and all that stuff. So technically, we haven't had this makeup of a Knicks. We haven't tried it this way yet. I know it seems like there's a limbo here, but we haven't had this luxury yet that we have right now.
I think we've had this luxury for the last few years. Actually, it's the same thing, just different parts.
What's the
So
luxury?
it's not like
What's the
this
luxury?
process.
Kev, what's the luxury? Hold on, Kev. What is the luxury you're talking about? Because I think
You got to ask him. He said luxury. I didn't say luxury. I didn't say that at all.
You said
I said we've had the
luxury.
same problem.
No, you're because you're bunching this team in with the same problems that we had like the last 2 or 3 years, but it's not the same problem because we didn't have Jalen Brunson.
I'm punching this team in with every other Knicks team that hasn't won a championship since 1972.
Well, then
because this team, hold on, because this team is not going to win the NBA championship. This team, as presently constituted, is probably not going to make the playoffs. Maybe the play-in, but not the playoffs, not the way the East is already configured. So yes, we have the same problem we've had since 1972. Regardless of how much we want to sugarcoat things, how much we want to sit here and pretend everything is all roses and peaches and cream and everything is rainbows and unicorns, it's not. Because unless we're playing for a championship like the Bucks or the Warriors or the Suns or the Heat or the Celtics, we're in the same place we've always been in. And I'm sorry if I might be the only Knicks fan who wants better. I'm sorry if I'm the only Knicks fan who wants to see my team.
Why do you think my opinion doesn't mean I want the Knicks better?
Because I'm not happy with being mediocre.
But
I will never be
no,
happy.
but you
with
want
being
it done
mediocre.
overnight.
I'm not
It
gonna
ain't
make
done
excuses
overnight.
for mediocrity. I want championship level team, and I do not think
That's the
it's too
problem
much to
arguing with
ask
people like
for
you, bro.
if that is a
I
problem.
got a question, Kev. I got a question because what we're doing is we're generalizing and then we're sensationalizing, and it's not like really specific.
I'm not sensationalizing wanting to win a championship.
Kev, can I finish?
We all want that. What are you kidding me? Come on, man.
I can't tell y'all are happy with making the play-in game, it seems like.
No, but see, that's the problem. Me making a point about where we are at this point doesn't mean I'm satisfied. At one time, did I say I'm satisfied if this is our direction and this is where we're staying at? If this is our ceiling, I'm satisfied. I never said that.
You never said that.
But it wasn't. Things aren't done overnight. See, fans like you and people like you, you want it all and you want it now. It don't work that way.
Coach said,
I've waited for 30 years of my life.
So have I, bro. I'm 47 years old.
I've been a Knicks fan
My big ass have been waiting my whole life for this. Trust me.
30 years.
Guys,
I don't
please.
think a little more, any more patience is required.
Please,
I'm not talking about patience.
Hey, Ivory, you know what this looked like? You know what this looked like?
Get.
It looked like this looked like that scene when Trey came in for the street when he went to Nia Longhouse and he closed the door and he got that look on his face and then he started punching the air. In that movie Boys in the Hood. Yeah, that's what this look like right now. Like everybody has got the same, because I understand what Hoodie kept going and I spoke to it. Hoodie Cab basically is saying we need stars and we need them now. And Coach is saying, yo, you can't have it that way. It never works. It doesn't work for teams. Even when teams do
Look
it
at the Nets.
blatantly. Like basically what Coach is saying is like, look at what the Sixers did. They did it blatantly. They had a tag name for it called Trust the Process. You know what I'm saying? And so none of this stuff is going to be done overnight, especially where we are. Nobody is complacent where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is where we are right now is where we are right now. Hey, so Justin DW, thank you for the generous contribution. Justin DW says, I think the Knicks will make the playoffs. A lot of teams are going to fight to the bottom for Vic, and we plan to be better and mature, same as Boston.
Yeah.
I think the thing about Boston though is you don't know what Boston's going to be. Boston's an excellent franchise. Their franchise is a lot better than ours, right? For Boston historically has been better than us. They've been better ran than us, and on the court they beat us, right? And for those that don't like it, I'm sorry I'm sorry I should have spared your feelings, but you know what? Your record is who you say you are. You know what I'm saying? Boston.
I have a question.
All right.
I have a question because I have a statement and then a question. My statement is that Hoodie Kev listens to respond, not necessarily to comprehend or understand. And it's a lot like when someone's hungry.
You tell me what I do.
Here we go. It's a perfect example.
That's the
just
perception.
A second ago.
I mean,
that's a perfect example. Hold on, let me finish.
But you just did the same thing to him that you felt like
man, obviously.
But you just did the same thing to him that you just said that people feel like Hoodie Kev was doing the coach.
No, because he actually said something. He had said it as direct as possible.
I didn't even finish saying
Hoodie Kev does this.
Yes,
I don't think
did it.
I didn't imply anyone else did anything.
Oh, the personal attacks brings us down. The personal attacks brings the whole conversation down, and no one starts paying attention to the real subject. Everyone just tries to defend the personal attack. So I think if we let go of that, then I think
I don't think I personally attacked anybody.
No, that's not what was said.
I'm giving an example of what's happening in the conversation, and it literally just happened as soon as I said that.
Yeah, because he said before I even made my point, I'm gonna sit here and say, and I'm gonna be totally against and what you're gonna say without even knowing what I'm gonna say already. So in turn, you're the mind reader. You're mind reader. Now you're talking over me. So now you're talking over me.
Anything that you had said.
All right. So let's get away from the generalization. Hoodie Kev.
You were going to do this.
I didn't take it personal.
I made my opinion off of what you had already said.
Right, exactly. So you just admitted it yourself.
Something about you.
You were already.
I made no. I made an opinion about what you had said. I didn't make an overall generalization about you and your character.
I didn't say you did. Evergreen said that.
Evergreen just did to me.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you made an opinion.
I didn't say anything about you like Evergreen just did to me.
I know that. I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just saying that you admitted you already made your mind made up. You were going to be against what I was going to say before I had said it because you assumed the analogy I was making before I said what I said was automatically going to be against anything you were going to agree with. So after I said and spit what I felt was facts, and I said truthful things about the position of the Knicks and the position of the team, and what we're at where we're at right now, you automatically said you're going to be against it, and you're just going to wait for me to be done talking. So you're just basically agreeing with the point that Evergreen just said. Maybe he didn't come across it the same way. I didn't
even get to finish. I didn't even get to finish.
I understand what he was saying. You already
basically what Evergreen G did was threw a rock and tried to hide his hands, but we
no. I didn't even get a chance. Listen, I didn't even get a chance to. I didn't even get a chance to show my hand because I got cut off.
Evergreen G, but we not crazy, bro. We sitting right here. We saw you.
All right, listen. This is what I'm saying. We have to listen to what each other are saying and allow the point to be made first before we cut each other off. So the reason I just did that was to give and show example of it happening in real time. And before I even got a chance to get the words Hoodie Kev out, Hoodie Kev was already down my. So all right. So my point is, and this is what I would like. We have all of these ideas on the reasonings why the team sucks. So I'm gonna put the ball into Hoodie Kev's court right now, and I'm gonna shut the hell up after this. Right now, Hoodie Kev says we are not a team, and I just want to clarify, we are not a team that is going to make the playoffs, or we might make the play-in game. So based off of what we have right now, Hoodie Kev, what are the exact...
Wait, no. Wait a minute. No. Hell no. We ain't asking no. First of all, Hoodie Kev is not on the witness stand. You ain't about to ask no questions. You said you had something that you wanted to say.
Right.
You have a statement. You said first I have a question, then I have a statement, then you made a statement, and then a question, and then now you are trying to get into a question. Nah, Say what it is you got to say, Evergreen G. You don't have to draw
here's what I here's
the thing.
So I am in complete agreement with Coach on just about all his topics. He hasn't said anything to me based off of what I'm listening to that is on a pontification level. It all sounds very logical. It all sounds very if was a fifth. It all sounds very
all right. Okay. So what did Coach say?
Coach was essentially saying that we have all of the building block pieces to show progress, consistent progress, because this idea that switching from different regimes and then just getting superstar players and winning a championship is impossible, and it doesn't happen that way, right? It happens through building. Okay. Hoodie Kev's notion is that he's
Evergreen G. So if Coach said that, and we all understand it, why does it need to be said again?
No. Because the reason is because
why didn't you just give Coach his credit? Why didn't you just say, Coach, I agree with you, Coach, you right?
I just said that. What are we talking about?
Okay then. So what are we getting at then?
I'm trying to move on to where the disagreement is coming in, and the disagreement is coming in on Hoodie Kev's side. So I just want some clarification on Hoodie Kev's point without the obsessive pontification about what happened.
Hold on, Uncle Breezy. Because I
understand what you Coach. You see how easy to Coach when Coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man and you're a man, right? When Coach, when I talk to you and you say something and I agree with you, guess what I say to you, Coach?
You right?
I say, Coach, you right. I say, Coach, you right.
Right.
And I don't put steak sauce on top of a perfectly good steak. I just let it rock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we disagree, I'm not gonna cut people off and say, you know what I'm saying, hey, I disagree with you because of what it is I want to hear everybody out on their point, and then I'll go in and say, hey, listen, my stance on that is this.
Right.
So like if I
but you're portrayed as a different listener than I just met Kev and I can only form an opinion on him and I love the brother already. I just met him. I can tell I like his vibe. I like the way he speaks. He comes across very intelligent. He's very articulate. I respect him. I disagree with some of his opinions. That's why I'm getting animated
on this one time.
On this particular thing, because I just met him. So and I'm not saying in general he's always like this or he don't listen correctly normally. But for right now, he's not as active as a listener as you usually are. So my reaction to how he's reacting to what I'm saying is different than because I feel you're a more realistic listener than Kev is portraying at this moment.
I listen.
So, in this particular,
I listen to everyone's opinion, what everyone has to say. Hoodie Kev is this. I believe.
Lord have mercy.
I'm like Morpheus, right?
Oh,
I believe in something.
You're gonna offer us an orange pill or a blue pill?
No. Listen.
Right.
I believe in something so much.
Ultimatum.
I believe in something so much, and that reality, that vision is so clear to me. Like the only thing that I want is for us to win. I want to walk down the street with my Knicks stuff on and people not say, oh, I'm sorry for you, you're a Knicks fan.
That's what everybody wants.
How do you win right now?
Hold on, Evergreen. What I want is to sit down on the last game of the season of the finals and say my team just won a championship. Okay. That is the only thing that I want.
How do you do that?
And I'm frustrated, and I've been frustrated because I do not think that the path to that day is any nearer than it's been since June 21st, 1994.
Well, I don't believe
What's
that.
the path?
What's
the path?
That's a little much, right?
And
what's the path?
No, the reason I say that is
Sweater Hoodie Kevin.
You
look at
the teams that you say are championship. You look
Sweater,
at teams that
hoodie,
are
Kev, what's the path?
championship.
What's the path, Kev? What's the path, bro?
I mean, if you stop saying what's the path, I can tell you what it is.
Just tell us the move right now that we need to make right now. The moves or move that we need to make to win a championship.
Since we ain't doing it the right way right now, what's the right way? What's the hoodie Kev way?
The hoodie Kev way, the only way that's right.
I hate
How
to
do we
tell
do
you
it?
this on October 10th,
He told you
2022.
what his way, but he told you what his way was, and he elaborated on it. And every time he said,
He did.
He hasn't said anything yet.
No, you know.
Here's the thing. Here, let me be clear.
You must be hoodie Kevies because I didn't know you're.
To be clear about what I think the Knicks can do today to make us a championship team. And that
so
is
winning the
right
championship.
now,
Just want to clarify. We're gonna win the championship. If we do this,
Evergreen, will you please let me
clarify.
finish? You keep asking me to finish, and you won't let me finish.
Go ahead.
That's exactly why you don't know right there.
My goodness, I've been gone 15 months. You had 460 days to make your point, and now all of a sudden I can't finish, even though you want me to finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
On October 10th, 2020, there's nothing we can do. There's no move out there in the NBA landscape that we can do today to make us a championship caliber team. Unless every single star player or two players on every team gets hurt, then we might have a chance. But that's not going to happen. So there's nothing we can do today that can make us the title favorites. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're going to go through this 82-game season. We're going to come on here every night. We're going to lament. We're going to praise. We're going to say good things. We're going to say bad things. For 82 games, we're going to be pissed off at Tibbs' decisions. We're going to be pissed off Julius Randle keeps doing that spin move. We're going to be pissed off that RJ Barrett is taking a back seat. We're going to want Jalen Brunson to do more. We're going to be happy when all those things do happen. And we're going to do that for 82 times. And then at the end of the season, we're going to be like, you know what? We didn't win the championship this season. What are we going to do next offseason to make us put us in the same exact situation?
It's on to
Isn't that what I just said earlier? Isn't that the whole point I made, basically?
Thank you.
So thanks for agreeing with me. I appreciate it.
No, he disagreed with you, Coach. He disagreed with you. He disagreed with nothing.
Guys, if we define the conversation, is really, I think what we're talking about here or trying to get to is, are we building the right way? And are we doing the things that we should be doing to eventually put ourselves in that championship conversation? I think Coach is saying, I mean, you have to agree that, yes, we are definitely moving somewhat in the right direction because we have more options and more assets than we've had in I don't know how long, right? We do. That's a fact. I mean, we do. But
right.
Are we still building in the right way? And I think that's a legitimate question. I mean, that's legitimate. You know, I personally, I think there's questions about that. I'm not sure if we're not going to go out next year and find another semi-good veteran to play in front of somebody that we think is a young up-and-coming, player. So that's where I think we veer off the course when it comes to building the right way. And that's what we've done in the past. And we even did it last year when we brought in the Burks of the world. And we played some of these vets over our young guys. That's what we've done is we put veterans in front of our youth. And instead of living and dying by our youth, we let the veterans take the shine and win us a few games.
Yeah, because we brought in the wrong veterans.
Right. Okay.
Right, so Hoodie Kev.
All right, so hey, hold on, Wes. Let me welcome my guys in. Hey, man, my brother Ron Cleveland, man.
Ron Cleveland,
Chuck B is in the building. Chuck B, what's good? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, it's good to see you. How y'all just doing today, man?
Man. First off, them Jets fan, I gotta give you credit. Y'all put a beating on us last night. I don't duck, I don't run, I don't hide, I don't. Hey, I gotta call it like it is, man. We got spanked yesterday, and I ain't making no excuses. But who didn't play and all that? It is what it is. You put on the uniform, you play. I've never been a person to make excuses.
The real green.
It is what it is. Hey, salute to everybody on the panel, man. Chuck, good to see you, boy. Evergreen, I see you.
How about them Cowboys?
Coach, Hoodie, Kevin, the building. What's going on, partner? But that's all you want to see. I have to jump in the building. And, man, hey, everybody else, man. Hey, there's my man Wisdom in there looking like my brother-in-law, man. Hey, shout out to Wisdom. Hey, I see a few new people in the building. But Freezy, man.
I ain't new. It's me.
Shout out to everybody, man. Freezy, good to see you, boy. My mind been on you. You know what I mean? Hey, you definitely in my mind, my heart, and my prayers, man. For you and the family.
Definitely in them prayers. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Things been crazy. Things been crazy around here, man. So
fellas, why are we worrying about what we can do right now to be a championship team? We ain't a championship team.
Right.
We still building.
Right.
We still building. That's where we at. That's where I'm at. We still building. You know what I mean? We had some foundational issues. They had to correct that. So that's where we at. As far as I'm concerned, man, we back to the foundation, man. That's where this team is at.
Right.
You know, ain't no championship right now. I ain't even thinking about no championship. I just want to win some games and hope the coach get out of the way. He's my biggest concern for this team more than any player on this team right now. I hope he learns something with all these players he's starting to play, but we know in regular season start, a lot of these guys ain't gonna get no playing time. So that's where we at, man. The coach is the biggest detriment, and I'm gonna pass that thing to Chuck.
Chuck
Right,
B in
right.
the building.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Chuck B, what's popping, big dog?
What's up? What's up? What's good? All right, my biggest concern is Leon Rose. I don't think he's done anything good since he got here. Draft strikeouts. No, yeah, nothing. Draft strikeouts, always trading down or not making a pick at all, or using a pick to get rid of somebody he signed last year. That makes no sense. You use a lottery pick to get rid of Kimba.
He got rid of DSJ though. That's good.
Kevin Knox.
Go ahead, Chuck, man. Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, Evergreen, was that Evergreen? Because he usually wrong. So,
I mean, thank you, Chuck. I miss you so much, Chuck.
Yeah. I got your back because I heard what Evergreen was saying and it was terrible. But that's the norm. This team is stuck in.
Wait. What did I say that was terrible? Hold on. I just want to clarify.
Everything.
You have the floor.
Everything. All right. This
Can you specify though?
He's gonna come in here and just go after. Let me do this real quick. Nev the Disruptor, thank you for the generous contribution. Nev says this front office has done an excellent job of putting the building blocks in place. They have 4 players who have the potential to be all-stars: Obi, Grimes, Brunson, and JR, and 21 first and second round picks.
He stacked assets. He did do that.
Why is RJ not a potential all-star?
Yeah. Obi has no
Did he
chance.
mistype?
And let me let Chuck go ahead and finish your thing. Just
please, because all those names are wrong.
Yes.
Obi has 0 chance to be an all-star. Who else he said? Grimes.
Okay.
No. What was the other 2?
Brunson
and JR.
Yeah.
Brunson. The East is already locked in. So as far as guards, so who is he jumping to be an all-star? I don't see
Trey
that.
Young, Trey Young, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell,
In the name of
DeJounte
John
Murray.
Brown.
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Bradley Beal.
I see him jumping Garland.
It's too many people. It's no.
I mean, if he does for the Knicks, what we hope he could do, he can.
No.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going on your point. I don't want to talk on your point, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if he's dominating that much, that means other people are taking steps back. So is he going to take 20 shots a game? I don't see it. I don't see it because first of all, he's the point guard, right? You brought him in here to distribute. So is he going to dominate the offense? Is RJ and Randall going to take seats for that? I don't see that happening. So I don't see him being that big a role, taking that bigger role to become an all-star. Neither do I see Randall because Randall going to have to sacrifice some of his game. Now you have another ball dominant player. So what you did was you added somebody else that need the ball. Brunson need the ball. So everybody else production going to go down.
Okay.
I'm looking at.
On that point, real quick. I'm sorry. Can I get that point on the point guard? What's the primary point guard's purpose?
Hey, if you know the answer already, just say it.
Okay. I mean, in my opinion, when you're talking about scoring, I'm not looking for point guard to be a high scorer. I want to see assists. if Brunson comes in and puts up double-digit assists and 16 points, is that a potential all-star right there in this league?
No.
In this East?
No.
Wisdom,
points only, right?
Wisdom, I'm going to
Okay.
tell you, there's one road for Brunson to an all-star game. It's based on where the wins and loss totals for this Knicks team. If the Knicks catch lightning in the bottle again, and that guy is having a very good season like he has been since he's been in this league, you can book it. Brunson will be in the all-star. Will he be a starter? Might not be. He might be a reserve, but he will be an all-star. If the Knicks mess around and get in the playoff and they doing real good, it's gonna vault him in to be an all-star. That's his role.
Right. And
that'll
so
happen for a high assist
the thing I just want to say real quick, the all-star thing is not the measuring stick that we should be going by, because the all-star game is a popularity contest. So we don't want to get into that stuff. You know what I'm saying? What we want to do is all NBA. Is this player in all NBA first team, second team, or third team, all NBA? And the reason why I say that is because in the East, you already have guards in Cleveland. Both of those guards are going to make the All-Star team, right? You know how I know? Because they made the All-Star team last year. Atlanta has a backcourt that's going to make the All-Star team, right? Then you have Bradley Beal. You have so many guards in the East that it's not, that conversation is not even worth having. The conversation that we should be having is, how does Jalen Brunson impact winning? That's it. That's the kind. And if Jalen Brunson's 16-10, and Jalen Brunson is 16-10, and this team wins 38 games, is he all NBA? No.
No.
But if Jalen Brunson is 16-10 and his team wins 48, 49, 50 games,
yes,
possibly. You know what I'm saying? What we want to do is just make sure that we keep things in perspective. And a lot of players impact winning without stats. Like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler does things on a nightly basis that you can't quantify in your box score. Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, does a lot of stuff that you can't quantify. The main thing you want to do is look at, did these kids improve enough over the summer to help this team win? Can each one of these kids bring a +1 to the win total? Can RJ make this team one win better? Can Cam make this team one win better? And then Jalen Brunson, can he make this team better with his presence? And I understand the flashy, the buzzwords, because we live in a society of social media and all that stuff with alerts coming to your phone with buzzwords and buzz phrases and things of that sort that try to capture your imagination, because nowadays people's attention spans are short, so you got to use buzzwords. But what I want to say though is Jalen Brunson should solely be measured on one stat alone, and that's wins and losses. And if we regress or don't get markedly better, then the season is a failure. Say, for instance, we won 37 last year, and if we don't win 43, 44 this year, then the Jalen Brunson thing is a failure. And not just because of Jalen Brunson, but because, we figured that Jalen Brunson's impact will help others get better. And if we don't reach that, then what we did to support Jalen Brunson was a letdown.
Well, I can tell you this, Freeze. I can tell you this, but Jalen Brunson and we, all of us that didn't watch these games with this kid, it is very refreshing. We finally got a point guard on this Knicks team. There's no question that we got one. And when you talk about little things, when you watch Brunson, not only can the guy get his shot when he's ready, he's not flashy. He's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to pass the ball. The guy is actually underrated as a defender. I didn't think he was he was better than I thought he was. From all the reports I heard about his defense, I was expecting trash can status. The guy is a willing defender. And another thing about him that I watch a lot, the guy is willing to take charges and tackle them. And then another thing, free throws. He go through the free throw line. It's pretty much automatic. So them close games that we was losing because we couldn't hit free throws last year, that's out the window because the ball going to be in his hands. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ron, and let me just add to that point, though, because you said free throws. I'll probably get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about a lot of us played ball in high school, right? And so what it is what people don't realize is, say, when you have a 5-point lead, right, and you go to the free throw line for 2 shots, if you make those 2 free throw shots, both coaches coach differently after that, because it's no longer a 2-possession game. It's basically a 3-possession game, right? So coaches coach differently. So when you hit in your free throws, like we saw it last year with Mitch would go, it'd be a 4-point game. Mitch go to the line, miss both free throws. In theory, it's a 2-possession game. Kinda, if you get lucky, it's a 1-possession game, right? But it's a 2-possession game. You know what I'm saying? A 3 and a 2, basically. Right. But if Mitch goes to the line, right? Mitch goes to the line and hits those 2 free throws, we up by 6. Now it's a full 2-possession game where a team has to hit a 3, get a stop, come down and hit a 3 just to tie the game up. You know what I'm saying? So what you was mentioning about the free throws, that's why I got on RJ last year. When you get fouled and stop the clock and only go to the free throw line and make 1 of 2 and you're a wing player, the defense won.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My bad, right? I just wanted to emphasize that, because it's not just about, it's just not just about, free throws at the end of the game. It's about how you coach throughout the game. The other team, you up by 20, the other team go on an 8-0 run, you down by 12, and then you go to the free throw line, and the first thing you do is doink the first free throw. The other team still got that emotional momentum.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when you hit the second one, it's relief. But when you go ice the first one, so you ice the first one, you letting them know that we here. It's all about these emotional ebbs and flows. And people say, take emotion out the game or whatever. Those are the people that have never played sports. When people say certain things, you could tell they're not athletes. Like, man, you don't play sports with emotion. What?
You ain't playing and you dead.
Yeah. It's the reason why a lot of us play sports in the first place.
Yeah, I think we're putting a little too much, not pressure, but a little too much hope in Jalen Brunson. And let me explain why. Jalen Brunson, first of all, has never started and never been a starter for an entire year yet. He has never gone to the line more than once in his entire career, right? He's only taken 2 foul shots a game for his entire career, maybe 3 he's gotten up to. He's never been an assist guy. He's never averaged 5 assists before in his career. I just think we have to scale it back just a little bit. He's been more of a 6-man type of guy, come in and cook a little bit. He's going to make guys a little bit better, but I'm not so sure he's that guy that makes everyone so much better like we hope he is, right? So I just think we have to scale down on the expectations just a little bit is all I'm saying.
I feel
Jalen Brunson is definitely the guy.
I feel like
Shout out to the panel, everybody on the panel.
We won't have to do that.
I feel like it's okay to have like tempered expectations, but I also know that he's been unfairly pigeonholed as being a particular type of guard in this league. As soon as he came out of college, they made him stay on the bench as a 6th man when he's been a lead guard, basically at the highest level of high school ball, at the highest level of college, winning at levels. And he's been the lead guard. He's been unfairly pigeonholed. If it was the 90s, he would have got drafted top 5 because small guards were the thing back then. But because of where he's at now in this current area in the league where big wings are prioritized, he's going to be unfairly put in a specific box for a skill set. And I feel like he's a lot better than what he's been given the chance to be. And he's gotten the chance now, and he's shown that he's clearly talented enough to be a starting point guard in this league. Now, how far he goes as far as his ceiling, I'm not sure completely, but I know he has the talent and the skill set and the IQ to make players around him better. Like, it's pretty evident. You can see it. Like, it's tangible almost.
Okay.
I believe that we are missing the bigger point when it comes to Jalen Brunson. And that point is, if you're a fan of the Knicks, I'm going to ask a question.
First of all, Kev, if you ask a question, is it rhetorical or you want to answer?
No, it's a question. It's a question, and I think that
when you ask it, some people are going to cut you off and answer.
I want y'all to answer, because if you answer the question, it'll ding on you why I don't think that Jalen Brunson is going to be as impactful as people think he's going to be. Because if there's one player on this team who Tom Thibodeau trusts the most, who is it?
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose is the impediment to Jalen Brunson. Because when push comes to shove and it's tight games, where is Tom Thibodeau going to want the ball to be in? Whose hands?
He's probably going to put
Derrick
both
Rose's.
of them in the game.
Yeah.
And they might have both of them in the game, but who's going to have the ball? Who's going to take? Who does Tom Thibodeau want to take the shot? Jalen Brunson or Derrick Rose?
Hey, yeah, I got to say this real quick. Well, I mean, I got to get out of here.
I can't agree.
I
with
can
that.
do it. Hold on for just a second, Greg. Hey, I gotta wrap up and get out of here, man. I only expected to do 2 hours, and we had like 3 hours and 40 minutes. But I just wanted to thank everybody for coming through. We're gonna try to jump back on later, probably about maybe 6:30. But we definitely doing the Knicks at Night podcast tonight, right? Definitely doing the Knicks at Night podcast, man. I'm inviting everybody to come through and hang out with us. Sorry if I didn't get to everybody's points and stuff. But I really appreciate y'all. I just wanted to also say thank you to everybody that supported me through this trial period that me and Miss Mocha went through. You know what I'm saying, with breast cancer, and then with your man, with me, big fella, getting an infection. I don't know where it came from. It don't matter. I'm fighting it now. I'm out of the hospital too, man. I'm good. And so I just want to thank everybody, man, for being patient with us as we, try to navigate last week. So we back. We're gonna try to get on as much as we can. I invite everybody to come hang out with us. We're gonna probably try to do about 6:30. I gotta probably do some dinner first because the missus ain't able to. But I'm gonna do dinner, get all that stuff done, do some work. Try to get back about 6:30, and then we'll do the Knicks at Night podcast. There's one more thing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. I will holler at y'all later, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, peace, y'all.
Peace up.
Yep.